everybody. We should be live in the pre-show
Hi.
memes. Hello, hello. Let's do this. Twitch is working, and YouTube is working. Sweet. And post.
Very good.
And post. And ping in the Discord. Sweet. I'm like scrolling through volume 7 a bit real quick because I read volume 7 like as soon as we finished last week.
Oh, sure.
And then I finished volume 8 earlier, like this morning as soon as I woke up. Welcome. So I'm just trying to scroll through volume 7 real quick to remind myself what happened. To remember what to bring up to. Oh my god, there's very nice looking like pancakes and shit here. Oh my god, what is all this? What the hell is all this? Hold on, I show.
I assume it's breakfast food?
I want it.
Oh yeah, that looked really good.
Welcome, Turando. Is your mic stuff working?
Yeah, it should be working.
Yep, sounds good. Sweet. I'm gonna show for stream. You can see what I scrolled through and saw, and now I'm just thinking about that instead of scrolling through the other events of the volume. It's very important, you see.
I mean, that's really the most important thing that happened, I think.
It's very important. It's very important, okay? It's very integral to
Nothing
the plot.
major happened. It's only the finale.
No, nothing else happened, really. They just had pancakes at the cafe.
Yeah.
There you go. I ordered a Steam Deck last week, or over the weekend, and Valve lied to me. They told me it was gonna be here Wednesday. It is not here, and I'm being told it might be here Friday. But that's not
I can't
Wednesday.
believe Valve would do this.
That's not Wednesday.
When is it then?
Well, Friday.
No. The correct answer is Zday.
I don't think
When?
there is a
Today.
correct answer to that, really, when you think about it.
Iron.
Yes.
You know what you did.
You know what you are.
Do I know what she is?
I don't know, do you? I can't answer that.
Do I know what I am?
I
Do
would
you?
hope so.
I mean, who knows at this point?
Well, what do you think you are? And then we can start from there.
Me.
Oh my! I just realized
that makes
something.
sense.
So I was streaming Silent Hill 2 yesterday, and we had somebody come into the chat named Sophie, who was very much a huge Silent Hill fan, but her username last night was Sophie Exceed or something like that, with like like 10 E's in the name. And yes. I'm looking at the activity feed now, and that is no longer her name. Her name is now So Fucking Scary. So
damn, get scared.
We've changed it, and now we are scared. Apparently,
I'm scared right now.
I think it's a base name change, to be honest.
Based on what?
The lack of ease. Cause
it is pretty difficult, yeah.
There's not a single E in this, unlike Sophie.
I get your fun, Zan. It's good.
Thanks, Ian. At least someone appreciates me.
Ooh, ads are going to end soon. We're waiting on a couple people who said that they were probably going to be a bit late. Ari said she was going to be a bit late. Aztecs at a dinner thing. Don't know how late that means. And I believe Andy said probably not. Andy said
probably not.
Do not anticipate me being there. Who joined? That's
Hello.
Aztec. Welcome, Aztec. We were just talking about you.
Hello.
Thank you. Or
You're saying
stop.
You're saying
One of
where
the
the hell is that guy? Where the hell did he go? Why weren't we invited to dinner? We're not family enough for him? It's fucked up.
Not quite.
Oh, okay.
To be fair, none of my siblings showed up either, so
What? Damn.
it was literally just me and my parents.
Oh, okay, alright.
Now we see who the real family is.
See? You know? Really should have gone to Olive Garden, as we learned from Pandora Hearts.
But I went to
That's
Texas
true. Then your
Roadhouse.
family by
Had steak.
default.
Steak. Well, can't argue with that.
And like really good butter.
It's the
I'm
main
not sure I
selling
want my
points.
dinner to have steaks. That sounds dangerous.
Oh, I see.
What are you, a vampire?
Depending.
Depending on,
On what?
is this like a conditional
Energy
thing?
vampire.
Yeah, you know.
I don't actually. I'm looking for an explanation.
Well, that sounds like a skill issue, so...
I think it's a question. Look, you know what? Fair enough. Fair enough.
Man, what is in the water today?
I think it's all the E's.
Contributing to a general sense of disease.
Okay. Welcome, welcome.
Hello.
Welcome, Ari. Oh my god.
Soul should have changed their username to Maki for this one.
Oh yeah, because Soul's name right now is Certified Stream Heckler.
Yeah. And instead they just like to watch.
Certified stream Maki.
Bro, where was my Maki development this week that I wanted? Where was it?
He had character development.
Yeah?
Not a ton.
How you gonna
Look.
spin it? How you gonna spin it? How you gonna spin it? I'm trying to figure out what he developed.
The like end credits thing is like, oh, you changed. It's like,
He got
yeah,
into
I
photography.
stopped watching people now.
It's fine. With my predictions, I forgot to assume an important scene that was definitely going to happen before the series ended. So, welcome, Baguetti.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
What did you forget?
That if they were
He
going to
didn't
get
think
together, what?
You didn't think that Sayake was gonna confess, did you?
No, that's not what I'm referencing. From the Yuri series I've read in the past, if they do end up together and there is still a whole other volume, they will have a passionate scene, we'll say. from
Slightly more
the series
explicit
I've
than I had
seen.
expected.
Well,
Yeah, there was a lot of hand holding in this.
yeah. That's yeah.
Yeah, hands. That's what they have in their hand.
Doing something with them, alright.
I really did
Being
not.
really friendly.
Like, it had been a very long time since I've read this manga before, and I really did not remember that scene at all. And I was really surprised.
Neither did I.
I mean, I don't got a problem with it happening, and I don't got a problem
No,
with
no,
talking
I
with
mean,
it
it was
either.
actually, it was very tastefully done, but
Yeah, yeah.
like, it's like, holy crap, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't just straight up porn or anything, but it's like,
No,
Yeah,
that's
they're
definitely more
lesbians.
than a suggestion.
Okay, I think we pretty much have the bulk of people here. I don't know if Traveler Aria will be joining us this week. I can ping her just in case, but let us see. Okay. And then Andy's not gonna, potentially not gonna be here, so we can assume we can start without Andy. Shadow's not a part of these discussions, so I think we pretty much got everybody here now, right? We're not missing anybody.
Yeah, I think that's everybody.
Alrighty then. Well, with that, it is almost 9:10 here, so we'll just get started, and then we'll go with the introductions. Let's do that. Welcome everybody to another exciting week of the Anime Book Club here on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick all at the same time to finish up our conversations about Bloom Into You. We're done with the series, but before we get into our discussions of the final volumes, let's introduce everybody who is here this week, starting in alphabetical order as I can see it on the Discord chats. We start with Andromeda. Introduce yourself.
Oh no, that's me. Hi. I'm Marianne, or Anne, whichever you prefer. I'm not gonna bother recommending Silk Song, because you already know.
Everybody has recommended it to me, yeah.
Yeah.
A Song of Silk? Is that what you're?
Yeah.
Do I
So
have to sing
instead, you can if you want.
Oh, okay.
There's actually a lot of music, which I wasn't expecting, but it's nice.
Alright.
I've heard it requires a very smooth voice.
Yeah, which is weird that I'm the one fucking playing it.
Damn, holy shit.
Not gonna recommend it for Game of the Year.
Sorry, what was the question?
Are you gonna recommend it for Game of the Year for the awards?
Probably not. I think I'd probably still give it to Deltarune, honestly. Although Unbeatable is happening and Silent Hill F is happening, and those look good.
That's true.
Anyways.
Oh yeah, we got Silent Hill Farude in a bit.
Yeah. In like literally a week. It's wild.
I'm getting ready for it.
I'm gonna recommend instead the Say It in Red podcast, which I listened to their Seabed episode forever ago, when I was just desperate to find people talking more about Seabed, and I've been listening through their Higurashi episodes, and they're really good.
Interesting.
Wow.
It's called the Say It in Red
People who
podcast.
like Higurashi. Wow.
Oh,
Yeah, so
fuck
one
off.
of the co-hosts of Say It in Red is Runa, who is
Who?
a writer. It's Runa, who's a writer who works with Ari and I. So
Oh, okay, alright.
yeah,
I
yeah.
keep fucking doing this.
Good people, great podcast.
Oh wait, did you not know?
No!
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, great podcast. Runa and
I'm
Sarah
gonna
are delightful.
Fucking kill myself, I swear to God.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Runa is writing a game for Crystal Gameworks, and I'm editing it.
Runa's the other half of the transmutant pair that's writing my Ultraman.
Yeah. So there's two trans lesbians who are working on this this otome for
Where you
Ari,
date men.
where you date men, and yeah, it's great. It's delightful. It's gonna be a great story.
Interesting. Anything else, Anne?
I recommend paying attention to the things your friends do, I guess.
All right. So we got 2 recommendations: the Say It in Red podcast and paying attention to what your friends are doing. Go check out both of those things if you haven't already. Yippee! Thank you so much for that, Anne. Next up, Arimia Yuri. Yuri, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Arimia. I like shonen shit. My recommendation this week, so we're not meeting next week. My recommendation is to check out my Steam Festival next week.
Do it. Check it out.
So much time in it. So next week I am hosting my second Steam Festival, and what that means is that I will have a page on Steam. Should have a front page feature for one day during the week. I think Sunday-ish, Monday. I don't remember which day. Basically, it's just a page where there's a ton of visual novels on it. 200 plus, 100 plus developers. Is it good? There's Yuri.
What? Yuri?
There's Yuri.
They got Yuri in this?
There's
Holy
Yaoi.
shit. What, and Yaoi? Oh my god.
Yeah.
We got the boys here too?
I've been working so much on it. Please check it out next week. It starts Wednesday. It ends October 1st.
How exactly can they check it out? Or they just go on Steam and it'll be right there on the front page?
You just imagine it.
You
And
just
it'll bring it to
envision
you.
it. Oh, okay. Without love, it can't be seen, though. All right, so.
So, dear Lord, how do you even access it on Steam? There's a way. I have a feeling. I have a third sense that
Oh, God,
Val is going
yeah.
to update this soon. Because of how you get to it. So the way you get
It's
to
so
it
obtuse.
is on the Steam homepage. You go there's tabs, not the top tabs, but the second row of tabs where it has like your wish list and stuff. And there's the new and noteworthy, and then you can select
Sale events, I think.
yeah, not discounts and events. It's sale events. Yes,
Yeah.
sale events. And
Okay.
that's where it shows all of the festivals happening.
All right. Okay,
And it'll
so.
be there. You have to scroll. But
I'm
I
sure.
have a
But it
feeling
will.
they're gonna update
Theoretically, it will also be on the homepage of Steam.
this. It's for one day at some point.
Yeah, for one day.
During
Okay.
the festival.
All right, so make sure you go check that out when you
It's
can.
called Fall in Love Festival. Because you're gonna fall in love with visual novels or
That's
else.
true. Oh, I didn't realize there was a threat involved. There's now
It's
a
not
gun.
a threat, it's a promise.
Oh, all right. Well, all right. Go check that out if you're interested in that. When that happens, when is it? Next week? You said next week.
September 24th through October 1st.
Okay, go check that out at that time. Read all of it. All of it. Next up, Aztec. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Aztec. I like bad media. I don't know. What's a random thing on this list? Hinamatsuri. It's a great comedy.
I like bad stuff. Anyways, go watch this. This is good, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I have heard it's very good.
To be fair, none of my friends like it, so.
I have heard it's very... I think I watched the first episode ages ago with you, maybe? I don't remember if I watched it with you, but it was good. I just didn't have time to keep going.
What was it? Hinamatsuri?
Yeah.
I'll give it a watch.
If that has an English title, I don't know it.
I don't believe it ever did. I think it's just Hinamatsuri. So, go check that out if you are interested in that. Next up, Iron. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Iron, she, her. My recommendation for this week is to not make web scraper bots that spam websites and essentially DDoS them without intending to, because that will ruin some poor nerd's day.
Oh my god. What did you
Whoops.
do?
I bet you can. I bet you'll never guess what I've been up to today.
Huh.
Were you the poor nerd?
You've been
I'm the poor
DDoSing
nerd.
everyone inside.
I'm the poor nerd. I also recommend Mrs. Grass's soup with noodles. It's very good and very simple.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
What?
Mrs. Grass. It's a brand of soup.
Okay.
Oh, I thought this was like a light novel title or something.
Yeah.
No. It's a brand of soup. It's just soup.
I was like,
It's
yeah,
soup.
that's some
It's not a- it's
esoteric
not a-
Hebrew
No,
title if I've
it's
ever
not-
heard it.
Why are we bringing up soup?
No,
Let
it's
the
not
quote
like
go.
it's not.
It's at the soup store.
Why are you buying soup at the book club store, the manga
Hey,
store?
don't leak Shino's next game.
So soup.
That's all I got. Thanks.
Sweet. I did have to do, not exactly web scraping, I had to do some web form automated thing for Shadow earlier, actually, for his Yu-Gi-Oh! Spirit Caller database stuff, which did not
No,
break
listen,
the
that's
website.
fine. I'm just saying, don't do it to the extent that you're sending thousands of requests, every like 2 to 3 hours, and you brick the site. Just don't do that, please.
I did get blocked by the My Anime List API once doing that in the early days of messing with that. It didn't crash the website, it just blocked me.
Yeah.
It was a whole thing. Let's see here. Okay, so thank you so much for that. Next up, oh, that's me. Nanami Borg, aka Wolfborg, aka Chaplin, aka the best anime book club host ever of all time. I would recommend. I started 2 different things recently that I liked. One, I was shown a game last night that just came out officially today. I played like the demo of it, called Goblin Cleanup Detail? Or something like that, Goblin Cleanup? I forget what the full title is. But it's supposed to be a visceral cleanup detail type game, but it's themed around, your goblins cleaning up fantasy settings. So there's a lot of cool mechanics and gimmicks related to that kind of stuff, which I never tried one of those games before. I'd seen other people play it, so trying that was very interesting. So that was cool. So that's a game. And then right before we started book club, I had watched the first 2 episodes of an anime called Bento, which I never heard of before, but it was amazing. You should go check it out. There's a battle to the death, like every night, over half-price bento boxes. There's factions and everything. It's amazing. So go check that out if you are interested in that. Next up, we have, for the first time for the Blue Into You Talks, Shino, aka Saika Fan Club. Introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Shino, the resident cute girl enjoyer. I have come for the last Bloom Into You episode, I guess. And since many people have given 2 recs, I'll also recommend 2 based off the flavor of Bloom Into You. I think I might have actually recommended both of them before, but if you're searching for A-Theory, Crescent Moon and Donuts is good A-Theory. And if you like the second half of Yagakimi, around the part where Yu's realizing her affection and all that angst, My Sister's Best Friend, My Lover is also pretty good. It's currently my favorite Yuri manga, so I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's good.
Whoa.
You should read it.
I'm sorry,
Whoa.
what was the title on that second one?
My Sister's Best Friend, My Lover.
Okay. That's not as
Whoa.
bad as I heard the first time.
All right. Anything else? Oh, no. I think that's it, right? Is there anything else you got? All right.
Nope.
Sounds good. Thank you so much. Next up, Turando. Introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. I'm Turndo, and I like to read.
That's all you need to be here. And next up, Baguetti. Introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Baguetti. This week, I recommend Locking In.
Oh.
Thank you.
Oh. Is Locking In like an anime? Is it like a novel? Is it like a
No, just a way of life.
She's just telling you to
really.
get your shit together.
Oh. How do you do that? How does one lock in? I don't know how to do that.
You get 3 exams in 1 week.
Oh.
Called Adderall.
Oh, all right. Okay, well, locking in. We gotta lock in, gamers. We gotta lock in. So make sure you do that. Next up is nobody, because that's the end of the line. I don't know why I said that. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for all of your introductions. And now it's time to begin the final discussion about Bloom Into You. Where do we even begin with this? Where do we even begin? We had...
Well, there's Yuri.
I guess there's Yuri. I guess there's a little Yuri in this week. There's a little Yuri.
Not too much, though.
Well, the end of last week, we had another important scene at that river they keep crossing there, where they,
The
she
River
tried to...
of Styx?
Yeah. You tries to confess that she likes Toko, finally confessing that out loud, and then immediately ran away upon hearing Toko saying "I'm sorry" before hearing the rest of what she would have said potentially, and that's kind of where we left that off. And then this week we got we started with them basically awkwardly avoiding each other for a while, before Toko and the other upperclassmen went on a trip somewhere, where we had a whole big thing with Sayaka. Now, I feel like with the Saiki Sayaka fan club here this week, and given that we have not heard many of Shino's thoughts prior to this, I feel like we gotta ask, Shino, how big of a fan are you of this this woman here, given that you're the fan club and all?
I like her face. I think that's the biggest thing, honestly. So I'm sorry, Sayaka, but
I mean,
like 70%.
I want that to just be the end.
Tracks with Sayaka, honestly.
I mean,
That's
the face
true.
is important, as Sayaka would say.
This week, I'm sitting here like, oh, I think I understand why Sayaka is Shino's favorite. Shino, she likes tragedy, she likes tragic romances.
Yeah.
This is clearly, like, it was always a one-sided thing. That's all it could ever be. And that is why Shino likes Sayaka most. I like her
It's
face.
all surface level.
It's all the face.
Well, and also, I mean, Sayaka would always say, like, it's like 2 or 3 times, and she asked, "What do you like about Toko?" And Sayaka says, "Her face."
I immediately remember that
Her
scene.
face.
Sorry, did you have other things to say, Shino? We just had to jump on that line specifically.
70% her face, but I think I generally like her type of character, like the mature, cool type with good grades and stuff like that. Pretty girl, good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stoic.
Yeah, like to be honest, I actually am not a big fan of her role as the secondary love interest of Toko, because I think there's 2 types of Yuri out there. The type where the love triangle has hope for the future, and the type where she was clearly going to lose from the very start. And I think it's, she was going to lose from the very start, so it was a little sad for her, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know how many of the prior episodes of this you might have listened to or whatever of our thoughts, but in general, I had thought from the beginning that Sayaka would probably end up murdering you early on. I joked about that, but like throughout
Good news
most
about
of
the
this,
novels.
Oh yeah, that's true. So there are novels. So I didn't actually look into the details of it. There are novels about her, which I'm assuming continues whatever happened with her for what happened with her afterwards.
There are 3 novels. One focuses on Sayaka's relationship with the original girl whose name I no longer remember, but her first girlfriend.
Oh, Haru.
The second, no.
Oh no, that's the later one.
No, Haru's the one she ends up with.
Yeah. Okay.
There's the second novel, which focuses very heavily on her relationship with Toko. And then the third novel, which focuses on her going to college and meeting Haru.
Okay. I see. Okay. Yeah, so there's 3 novels of that came out from 2018 to 2020 from what I can see here. I don't know if these were ever... Oh, no. Yeah, they're licensed by 7 Seas, so you can get these.
Mm-hmm.
You can
They've
get
been
these, you can read
officially
them.
translated. They're really good. I've seen people be very frustrated with the official translation, but I'm not someone who knows enough to say much more than that. I thought it
Okay.
was fine. I enjoyed the novels quite a bit. Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, so there's those. Those do exist. We do not have it on our list to read for book club, though, but they do exist. So if you are interested in those, you can check that out if you want to find out what happened and or happens with Sayaka. Personally, with a lot of what was going on with her, you know, throughout a lot of her stuff, it was a lot of me kind of like I enjoyed a lot of what was happening with her character and thematically, you know, how it kind of builds upon what's happening as well in comparison with you. Where both these characters very much care for Toko, but they have different ways of approaching it, and as such, Toko has different types of relationships entirely with both of these characters as a result. And while both of them develop feelings for Toko, you know, Sayaka clearly understood them and wanted to like build upon it more faster than you, but you kind of showed up and immediately was like already hugely close with Toko, like almost soon after they met, and so that was probably infuriating Sayaka. But it's one of those things where throughout the story, I was glad for the opportunity, even though I know it was probably hurting Sayaka to go through it. I was glad for her to actually experience it, to eventually build the courage to do the big thing that we got this week, which was the confession between her and Toko. She finally, during the trip, got to try to confess to Toko, which I honestly, we all kind of knew for a while now that wasn't going to work out. Or at least I thought as much. I didn't think that was going to work out. Very unfortunate.
There's always hope for the harem route.
It's just one of those things where you've kind of understood a while ago that Toko's role for Sayaka is more so. I felt it was more so for Sayaka probably also knew when she does confess to Toko she wasn't going to be accepted. She probably knew at that point that she definitely had was going out with you or had a crush on you or whatever instead. You know, something like that. And so, to me, Sayaka's arc and all this with Toko, their relationship there, and being able to confess at that time, even though she knows the answer is going to be no, is more so that she can actually look at herself and be able to actually do that kind of thing, because otherwise, you know, she's going to end up for the rest of her life in a lot of relationships that are all just going to be one-sided and never progress, because, you know, she would never build up the courage to actually confront these feelings and speak them out loud, you know, more seriously with people and such. So, you know, it hurt a bit to see what was going on with her arc in some ways, but it was also one of those things where kind of had to happen in order for her to grow and be a better person, you know? I think, at least. That was kind of my takeaway from it, I think. I did really appreciate that we did get to go through all of that as a big scene before the finale stuff, though. I really did appreciate that. I will say, did not realize we would go from the confession scene, then the eventual rejection scene, to I immediately need to speak with you when we get back home right now. I guess I kind of understand it. I guess I kind of understand it because now that she's gone through what she was thinking through with Sayaka, you know, same kind of thing also helped her work through some things for how she should react to you. But it did feel like, all right, I'm seeing, I like somebody else, and I'm going to go confess to them now, so goodbye. And I was like, oh, all right, well. Obviously it didn't go down like that exactly, but that was kind of like an impression I thought in my head for a moment with that. There was also another scene there's like one of the girls that Toko and Saika sit with at lunch before they went on the school trip, and you and Toko were kind of avoiding themselves. Toko was like, "I'm not feeling too well" or something like that. I What'd she say? If I feel worse, I'll let you know, or something. I forget what she said, but the girl next to her was just like, oh, I hope it gets worse so we can get real close to someone. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening here? I think she was trying to like make her feel better, but I didn't understand. I was just like, I don't know who this is. I think she's been in like 2 other scenes ever. I don't even remember who the other girl was at the table. Here it is. I found the page here. Toko says, sorry, I suppose so. I'm a bit depressed or rather ashamed of myself. And she's like not elaborating. And the other girl's like, what do you mean? Want to talk about it? She says, thank you. I'm all right for now. But if it gets worse, you can comfort me. And then she like starts hugging her. It's like, okay, then now it gets worse real soon. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh,
well,
yeah. So that scene, I understood that as Toko finally being willing to open up a little bit, even if it is kind of minimal.
Yeah. Which I did like.
Because normally she would just say, oh, no, I'm fine, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that was meant to be
Yeah,
sort of
it's
an
the
indication
people
of that.
around her basically appreciating her ability to be even that minimal level of vulnerable in a way that she's simply never been for anyone at any point.
Yeah.
At least not visibly.
Right.
Everybody locked in for the lore drops.
Yep. Oh, yeah. I mean, because, like, that was another big thing
Yeah,
about...
everyone gets a social link.
The other big thing about them avoiding each other towards the beginning of this is the realization on both sides about things. Toko's main realization during this time is her whole, like, I don't have to pretend to be anybody with a theater trope. I can just be myself here. It's a very different feeling. There's probably a bunch of other places where I can just be myself at now, too. Now that I've gone through all of that. I kind of can open up more, you know, which is nice. It's very nice that she gets that understanding about things now. But at the time, she's also very depressed because she's like, I that's all great, but I still feel lonely because right now, me and you's relationship is very awkward. You know, things like that. And I'm just like, I'm just really glad that she finally gets to, like, realize... It's the thing that I was mentioning the other week, you know, once the play's done, what are you going to do with your life now if your main goal up until then was just pretending to be your sister, you know, or assume her role or whatever. Now she's at the point where she has both finished the play and come to the understanding that she doesn't have to pretend to be your sister. Now she's, you know, more comfortable about this stuff, and she's trying to, I think, figure out who she actually is at this point and what she... that she can just be open about some of these things more in different ways to, like, more people in general and not be too selective about how herself is to people. There's a lot with that, which I think is very interesting with a lot of what was going on with her character throughout the series. And I do appreciate that we get these moments with her now. It was very nice, I thought. I thought it was very nice, Toko's development throughout most of the series, but especially in these volumes for this week. Now that we've gone through what I think the biggest hurdles with her, it's very nice, I thought. I don't know. Did anybody have thoughts about Toko in general?
I mean, kind of related to Toko. I was just surprised how wholesome the last volume was. Like, they get rid of the drama immediately, and we just have basically the entire last volume just be cute stuff, which surprised me.
Yeah.
Very welcome surprising, but I was very happy that they're both like, just so immediately, we need to clear this up.
Yep.
It's still a bit funny that Toko does that as soon as Sayaka. But it was cute. It was...
Yeah.
It did strike me as weird that she didn't just, like, text you after she ran off, like, no, dumbass, get back here.
I
think she's a bit too in her own guilt at that moment.
Yeah.
Because she's
Yeah.
still having the full realization of like, oh, I've fucked up so bad.
Yeah, I've
Well,
been
I think
making you
it's
lie
also
to me about your
possible. I mean,
feelings and everybody else about
I
your
don't know
feelings.
that this is definitely true, but I would believe if Toko just genuinely didn't realize how her words could have been misinterpreted.
Yeah, that that
Like
might
she
also
might have
be the
just been
case.
so stuck in her own thoughts that she said, "I'm sorry," and didn't even realize that like you probably took that as a rejection. At least not at first. I'm sure she figured it out, but like
Yeah.
I mean,
you know.
she's plainly stated that that was what she thought happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, but maybe not immediately is what I mean.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think. Like, I mean, if I was in Yu's situation at that time too, I would probably be the same way. Where like I'm hearing her say I'm sorry, not thinking it through, running away, or probably not even processing that she said I'm sorry at first. I'm just immediately running away in her situation, and then later on playing it back in my head over and over again in my head and being like, oh my god, that's just dying from thinking about it over and over and just being in general uncomfortable about it and trying to avoid it and assuming that there's nothing really you can do about it. It's really all on Toko's end at that point with that. Is how it
don't
felt.
know that what Toko said in that instant really mattered all that much.
Right. Yeah.
You at that point was also so in her own head that I think basically no matter what Toko had done, unless Toko had like reached out and grabbed her, I think you was gonna run off no matter what.
Yep. Yeah. I very much agree with that. Yeah. Because Yu is just at the point then where she's just like, I am terrified. I have these feelings that I don't fully understand, and it's for this girl who has already plainly spoken to me and said, don't fall in love with me. If you do, like, it's gonna ruin everything with this or whatever. Which I think was literally what Toko said when Sayaka tried to confess at first too. Was that what happened? Somebody had said something to someone. It was like, don't do it when like someone was about to confess.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that was that
Toko.
scene, right?
That was Toko to Sayaka. Yep.
I was like, man, Toko. When I read that, I was like, Toko, didn't you feel bad about how you made you feel about that, and now you're doing this with Sayaka too? It's like, man, what's happening with that? What was the deal with that?
Well, of course she does, but even realizing what you're doing to people, that doesn't make it easy to immediately stop.
Sure, yeah.
Especially when you're thrust into that situation that you already know someone who is that important to you, you are going to hurt.
Yeah, I mean, when I try and think about these things, I understand because we had the themes as well from was it last week or the week before? The other side girl that we have here too, who joined the high school specifically to follow her crush, and she tried to confess to the crush. Akari, yes. Where the guy's just like, oh, sorry, I just want to focus on basketball or whatever. Which was a lie to try to not hurt her feelings, I guess, in a way, perhaps. And I mean, since the very beginning of the series, where Yu is not sure how to respond to a confession she got like months ago from when she was just graduated middle school or something, like themes here of revolving around how to actually respond to these confessions in a way when you're worried about hurting the other person, or how to properly respond in general to these things. And I mean, it can also be tough when you're very inexperienced in these kind of things in your younger ages, or you're in high school or middle school, and you just don't understand how a lot of these things should work or whatever. So I understand it can be complicated, the dynamics with it involved. I just kind of wonder, though, like, if you have Sayaka with you, if I'm Toko and I have Sayaka with me the whole time, and I know Toko's not dumb, I know Toko very much can tell that Sayaka probably does very much have a crush on her. And, I don't know. I feel like with their relationship, I don't really know how much harm would have actually come to their relationship had Sayaka tried to confess to Toko earlier, with how long they seem to have known each other. I don't exactly know. I feel like I'm trying to work it through in my head. because I'm just
I
yeah.
think I would say it actually would have gone worse because Toko wouldn't. In the version of the conversation that they have, Toko is as emotionally open as she is really capable of being in that point. I don't think if Sayaka had confessed earlier, Toko would have been able to give her that same level of honesty.
I could see that.
It would have been essentially it would have essentially turned into Toko labeling Sayaka in kind of the same way that she labels everyone else who confesses to her, which is just, oh, well, you are a person that I can never trust with anything, and I can never be myself around you ever.
I'm trying to think through that because I can understand what you're saying with that. I think my thing is, I don't know if we've seen her interacting beyond the initial confession with somebody who has confessed to them. At that point, trying to work through what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, at that point,
like,
it's kind of extrapolation on my part, but
no, I understand that, and I guess I'm just trying to think it through, like if that is a thought process that she would have with that kind of stuff. Because maybe it's just because it's in my head. I think to myself, if somebody that you're close to or whatever, and you're probably going to see more, still, because either they're at school with you or in the workplace or whatever, like if they do confess to you, and you reject them because you don't feel the same way or various other reasons for it, sure, it might make things a little awkward at times with it, but I don't know. I kind of struggle to think that, like, it means that literally everything has to implode over it. But I also understand that Toko, in general, was having a lot of very more specific issues with that kind of stuff.
I think both of them had way too many fears about that exact thing for them to be able to have that conversation, because they're both coming at it from that space of, if we acknowledge this, then
things will change with them in some way.
Our relationship will change, and it will be for the worse.
Okay. And so, yeah, it's like I said, the whole arc with Sayaka, like everything is going on with her. There's a lot to focus on my end of things with that, because, like, there's so much to dissect about everything about this. I think a lot of different dynamics that can be involved, a lot of different perspectives that can happen with these things, and it's in some cases the manga will tell us their internal thoughts about it. In other cases, they will literally say it to the person they're trying to say it to, or to Maki, I guess, or somebody else in between. But there's things like what you were saying before about some of that stuff where it's like you have to try to understand it from their viewpoint of how they've interacted with some of these characters before, and yet some of these interactions we haven't actually seen before. Like we've known Toko has been confessed to by a lot of people before, and is confessed to at the beginning of the series, but we don't know anything about that person. We don't know anything about these other people. In my mind, I'm just like, that person who confessed to her at the very beginning, was that guy like anywhere else in the story that we would have known about and we just never knew it? Because I mean, I remember early on in the series, I had thought that he was going to be a member of the student council of some sort, but I guess not. He was just some guy, and we moved on from him. I don't know why I'm bringing this up. I think I'm just running through some random thoughts in my head with this stuff. It's yeah.
At book club? No way.
No. I wouldn't do that.
Could you imagine?
No. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, Toko stuff, I will say I'm glad that she gets to open up more. I'm glad for all the theater acting stuff that she's doing now. and I'm happy for her at this time with all the stuff that's been going on with her. I'm happy for her, very happy for her. That's why I'm Nanabi Borg. That's it. Yeah, Toko's okay, I guess. Sayaka. I think I had mentioned Sayaka. Did anybody have any specific thoughts about Sayaka and the confession scene stuff that they really wanted to talk about specifically? What was?
I just think it was so sweet. I mean,
Just that
it
I
was,
love crying.
You love
yeah, it was
crying.
just, it was heart wrenching, but in a very soft way, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's sort of because like it's one of those things like you go into it and like everybody involved knows it's gonna, it's not gonna happen, including the reader, and it's like, but it's still just really sweet that they're able to talk about it and explain that they care about each other, and they both grow a lot from it, right? Sayaka has this experience of having a positive confession experience and having her feelings validated, right? And Toko gets to ask Sayaka more about like this idea of loving the me that is different than the one you fell in love with, like that whole thing, and that I think helps Toko feel inspired to go hash things out with you more properly. And so it's gut wrenching, especially that there's that one panel, I sent it in the spoiler zone, of like, um, you know, I can't choose you, Sayaka. I won't choose you. And I'm just like, like, ugh. But
It really do
it
be like
works
that, though.
really well. It works really well.
Yeah. And so I think I really liked, Toko had flat out said, I can't choose you, it's because I like somebody else. And did Sayaka ask, is it you? Or
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, she did.
Yep, and Toko answers, yeah.
Okay. Because like I said during the pre-show, I had read all of Volume 7 like immediately after we finished last week, so I'm trying to get a refresher on some of the details that I sort of remember about it. I just remembered that scene was amazing. I think I also remembered they because they were on the trip to a bunch of areas, and at some point they went to, I think, a shrine or something, and
Yep.
there was like a stone challenge, like a
In
love.
fact, I've actually been there.
Oh, okay. Something
Yeah,
about
when I visited Kyoto many years ago.
they were doing like the polls for the fortunes in various areas like love or whatever, and I think Sayaka didn't want to do it at first, and then she did some test with a stone where supposedly if you can walk from one stone to the other with your eyes closed, you will have luck in that regard.
With love specifically.
With love. And she made it in the end. And she opened her eyes, and Toko was literally right there. Let me find. And I think Toko's literally saying "you made it" as she opens her eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm putting it on the stream. It's very nice. The faces. Yeah, cute little scenes like that. Okay, even Sayaka gets a little date. Okay, before she confesses and gets rejected. Okay.
I love the bit
The
after
whole scene is set up
they get
really well.
Sorry, go.
Yeah, say that again, Turndo.
Yeah,
The whole
okay.
scene is set really well.
The whole scene, the scene was set up really well for Sayaka's confession, because after the rock, they walk through the bamboo forest, so it's like a sea of bamboo. It's a very romantic, I think, season, because it's like fall and you have all the bamboo leaves falling into the river or lake.
Right.
Then they go rowing on a boat, which I thought was interesting, because they didn't have like a swan boat. It's usually the classic trope. So they chose a pair of ducks, right? And that's kind of like the scene that inspired it, because when she saw the ducks, I think she saw you, and I think that's kind of when she knew like who she wanted to be with. So it's very interesting. It's a very nice setup.
Yeah, I
Walk
think I remember.
through bamboo. She knew.
True.
Mhm.
So true. I think I remember them doing the boats, and then the duck reminding her of you. And I was like, does you often remind you of ducks, or what's? But
It could be, since I think they were Mandarin ducks. Like, at least in Asian cultures, they're kind of like culturally, they're treated as like romantic birds that only mate once
Oh.
or whatever. It's like kind of like how over here we have like the whole like, oh, swans,
Romantic
they're so
ducks.
romantic. They only have one partner, and if the other one dies, the
Romantic
other one
ducks.
dies of sadness or something like that. Even though I'm pretty sure Mandarin ducks are actually like they will mate with other ducks, but it's just like
Oh my God.
culturally the cultural element is that they're considered romantic
Oh,
in
okay.
Asia.
That's interesting. I didn't know anything
Yeah, I
about
thought
that.
it was very interesting. It's very interesting symbolism because I think the 3 or 4 is turtle doves, just for Christmas. You have swans, I think, puffins, a certain type of magpies,
Yep.
and I think like vultures. So like there are very few species that like mate for life, and like penguins. So it's on the other end of the spectrum, like the not so like loyal birds. You have ducks, and what was the other one? And rabbits. They're more like about
Dude, what's
passion.
this
It's
duck
like the heat of
slander,
passion and love.
bro?
I mean,
I'll have to
there's
settle this
like
in duck
the whole
court.
duck relationship is less than loyal. There's like a whole other thing, but I'm not going to go too much into it.
I mean, it is interesting of the symbolism of this stuff. I had no idea about any of the potential symbolism of those things. I mean, I knew it was probably symbolic in some way, but I didn't realize in what specific ways it could have been symbolic. In my view, I just seen like 2 ducks together, and then she like immediately saw an image of her with you. So I was like, oh, those 2 are together, so her together. So like that was the end of my thoughts when I saw those panels. But to hear those potential other means of it is very interesting. I had no idea. And there's no translator notes or whatever to give us any additional information like that in the official translation, at least. So it's interesting, very, very interesting. Also, I forgot to turn off the panel that I had on screen, but I just remembered now, so it's gone. And that was where, so the I'm trying to remember, because Sayaka confessed and then she waited to give her answer, right? They didn't give the answer immediately. It was after the duck boats that they did the confession, or she answered her. It was after the duck boats that they confessed or answered the confession.
Yeah, and Toko gets a chance to sort of ask some more in-depth questions about those feelings and all that. Yeah.
Right. Trying to find them now here. Man, I really do regret reading this whole volume like last week, because I do remember the scene being very, very good. Okay. Oh yeah, because she had also talked about her grades and stuff, wondering if her grades were going to, like if things would change. She's like, I like your face, your voice, your intelligence, and so on. She's like, what if my face gets scarred, my grades drop? She's like, oh, it might be a shame if that happened. That might suck too. But I'd like to think you'd do your best to keep your grades up, and I don't really know if my feelings would really change with that. I just like these things right now. And, as we grow, I'll probably continue to like those things or like different things too, and things like that. Like, it's nice because they're answers that, like, help Toko understand based on her previous concerns and worries about, like, if somebody only loves you for a certain thing, if that thing changes, that means they don't love you anymore and stuff like that. That's not necessarily what that has to mean. People change over time with these things, and liking a part of you now doesn't mean that that's, the only thing that they like about you and the only thing that they will like about you, and that they can't change the way that they like that thing about you and things like that. Like, you know, so it was very nice for Sayaka to have that interaction with her and talk about those things. We're talking a lot about Sayaka here because of that whole scene. Almost makes it feel like, to me, that Sayaka won in the end. Obviously, she did not win in the end, but I think I had a lot of thoughts with the Sayaka stuff. I think it's mostly because we knew pretty much that, you know, you and Toko were just going to be a thing. What I didn't realize was they were pretty much going to be a thing, and then we had a whole other volume left. I was like, what else do we do now? What do we
I was
have
really
happen
surprised
here?
by that too. Yeah.
In my head, I'm thinking, oh no, we're gonna go from confession to breakup later on, but that's not what happened, which was silly of me to not assume the other events that would happen, which was, again, as I mentioned prior, from my previous experience with some other Yuri series where they do, in fact, confess to each other. You get a passionate scene together later, and then a time skip to where they're together even longer. But we'll get into some of those more in depth. But it was interesting that we went from all of that stuff, the you know, rejecting Sayaka, reconnecting with you, and then they start, you know, officially going out, to all the little details that come afterwards. It was nice, I thought.
I think what I find interesting about Sayaka and the confession and like the fears that they had going into it is that kind of jumping ahead a little bit to the like time skip scene, but those fears ended up kind of like justified in that Toko and Sayaka actually did become a lot less close than they were afterwards, to the point where Toko finds out that Sayaka has a girlfriend, like in that moment from you letting it slip.
Yeah, from you, which
Yeah.
is wild.
Yeah.
Which is just one of those things that's like things did significantly change for the both of them following that confession. It just wasn't immediate, and maybe it wasn't something to be scared of.
Yeah. It was one of those moments where it's again, I do like how Nakatani Nio handles stuff like that with the series at times, where it's like there's a lot of things happening with some of these side characters that you just don't get to see on screen, but you get to feel the impact of it in a meaningful way. It doesn't feel like it's just random lore dropped. It feels like it is adding on to the important things that we saw develop about them, and how it also helps develop our main characters here. Which I really liked. That detail about it was huge for me because, you know, it tells me Sayaka went through her whole stuff, and realized that that doesn't mean it's the end. You know, just because she had all that, had all those feelings for Toko, you know, just because she did doesn't mean that that has to be the end of her. It doesn't mean that she can't find somebody else. And having gone through all that and confessed to her, she can go out, find somebody else, and didn't have to make it, you know, didn't have to be like you know, like a huge thing where everybody in the story had to be involved with that process of seeing it or whatever. It just kind of happens off screen for us, and then even Toko didn't know. Yeah, so I mean, Toko at that point in time with the time skip, supposedly Toko is just very, very busy with her college classes and college theater that she's in, the theater trope there, is what it sounded like. If I was understanding that correctly, it sounded like she was going to college now and doing all that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I did want to clarify one detail that I think I was just misunderstanding. When we get the time skip, where they're, at this point, both done with high school, right? They're both done with high school, and Yu is being invited back to go see the festival that they're doing there. Before she leaves, she's talking to her sister, and they're talking about how, why don't you just go live with Toko already? If you tell mom your roommates, she might be okay with it, or something like that. And I'm like, that feels... I was confused with that, because I was like, okay, does that mean they have not told their parents they're dating yet? When we get the final scene, where you see that she has a ring on her finger now.
Yeah.
So I'm like, have we not talked to the parents about this yet? Or what's going on there?
We will live our life of sin, thank you.
Okay, all right. That was a deal. I was trying to think to my head if that was like a detail where like I wasn't sure if the parents knew that they were dating, and I'd like to assume that they did if they're supposedly engaged now. So I was like, maybe
from
Yeah, go
reading the Japanese version, it seems pretty clear to me that the mom does not know they're dating. At least in that first scene with Rei and Yu.
Oh, okay. Well,
They're
that is very
going
interesting.
the route of my favorite BL manga, where they're like, "All right, we're gonna go to America, get married, and then we're gonna come out to the parents."
Oh no, her
That's
dad's
a
gonna.
smarter way to do things.
Her dad's about to get ready to put his food down. All right. Oh my god. Cause I remember that. I was like, oh, that's cute. We have the ring. They're married or engaged or whatever, something like that. And I'm just like, wait a minute. Didn't they say they were still hiding it from the parents? Wait a minute. What's going on with that? Wait a minute.
Listen, this ain't about them.
This ain't about them. True. This ain't about them.
Wait a second. I'm flipping through this last set, like the entirety of the time skip section. I think Yu's right hand is hidden completely until we get that scene with them on the bridge at the end.
Yeah, that's what I was assuming. Are you trying because I was trying to think it either implied that A, the ring was on the whole time and it just wasn't shown to us until then, or B, she actually proposed to her at that night and we just didn't see it. I was assuming one of the two. But I would have assumed if she did propose to her, we would have seen it. So
I feel like
if she
probably.
I don't.
Yeah, I don't know.
That would be incredibly funny to have an off-screen.
Listen, I think what really happened there was just Nakatani Nio was like, I want a very cute send-off to the very end. Oh, yeah, what?
Shino has spotted from while they're at the play with you having the ring on.
Oh my god, she does have the ring on.
That's one of those where, like, if you don't know what you're looking for, you won't.
You would never. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's hard to tell there. Okay, yeah.
Well, and if you're not thinking about it, I mean, it's whatever. It's a ring.
It's a ring.
But then it's oh, it's a ring. Like
it's
a
ring. Not only is it a ring, but when her and Toko like officially started going out, and there's a lot of cute scenes when they first start going out, but she like passes by a jewelry place at some point and is looking at rings, staring at rings, and immediately thinks to herself, "Oh no, I'm getting so ahead of myself."
It's so cute.
Where's the rock though? I don't see no rock.
That's true.
That's
true.
So it looks like you wears hers like rock in.
Yeah, because there's no rock.
Oh my god, we've got more evidence of the ring. Oh my god, there's so much evidence.
And you can see it on her finger too.
Oh my god.
I think those might actually be the ring she was looking at when they started dating.
Really?
Probably. I wouldn't doubt it.
I feel like I remember the rings.
A box of Cracker Jack.
I feel like I remember those rings like not having stones, but maybe I'm wrong about that.
Oh, I'm trying to save the image, but if it's...
Of course, actually, wait a second. Maybe these don't have stones either. I guess maybe they don't. Oh, maybe they are the same rings.
Maybe. Here it is. This one, yeah. Yeah, I'm probably, like, on my end, I had probably just assumed Nakatani Nio wanted to have a very emotional, impactful final scene, but for, that's why they had the whole big focus on the ring towards the end. But the earlier conversation with Ray, I'd like to think at that point they probably would have come out to the parents at that point, so I think in my head I was just like, this was just dialogue that we had come up with for, like, banter between them, before they, like... I think in my head I tried to rationalize it as, that was just them trying to excuse moving in with the girlfriend. Like, I understand that they've said they're engaged now or whatever. In my head, they probably would have told the parents they were engaged already. And they were trying to find an excuse to more gently say that they were going to move in together, I think.
Oh, actually, that would match my reading of the Japanese. I hadn't considered that interpretation, but yeah.
Yeah, because, like...
Nothing would contradict it that I've read.
Because she was trying to be like, we hardly get to see each other, even though we're engaged. I mean, she wasn't saying that, but I was trying to think that in my head, because they're just like... there's, like, side remarks from you when they're at the cafe, where she's like, okay, yeah, we can go to that thing. Make sure you don't cancel the last minute if you're telling me we're going to do this like last time. Like, things like that. Like, clearly, Toko's been keeping herself very busy, and because of that, she's, they've had issues actually connecting. And she almost didn't get to meet up with her in this I knew that they were going to meet up, but obviously. But, like, they tried to act like she couldn't make it to the culture festival in time. She found time somehow to make it. Yeah. So they did just, I will say too, that whole scene with the ring reveal and then the conversation about them being roommates or whatever is reminding me of the whole situation they had with, Witch from Mercury, where
Oh God,
they were wearing wedding rings at the end, and Bandai was trying to be like, well, no,
what? No, it's friendship.
Is friendship rings, yeah. And they were roommates, don't worry.
Get fucked.
Get fucked, yeah. Like, I mean, obviously, Nakatani Nio was not trying to imply anything like that, of course. Like, of course, Nakatani Nio was trying to say they absolutely got married and they're very happy with it and all that.
Yeah, I think they were trying to imply that they got married. That the implication is that they're gay.
What? They are?
You're telling me they're lesbians in this Yuri series?
Wow, is that allowed?
Possibly. Quite possibly.
What?
They haven't outlawed that yet?
That's insane. That's insane.
I like the implication that they didn't tell Dojima, though.
That's not an implication.
Not even implication. That's just stated. They just didn't tell
Are there
Dojima.
other people in that friend group who don't know, and they just mentioned Dojima, or is he literally the only one who doesn't?
I think he might be the only one who doesn't know.
They're like, we'll tell you when you're older.
The shadow of the group.
I mean, don't. Oh my god! Listen, Dojima has his own development that we see. All right, Akari with Akari, where some other girl that they are friends with, whose name I can't remember, is like trying to talk with her and get updates with about her situation. She's like, "So how's the crush going?" She's like, "Oh, that ended a while ago." And then someone else is just like, "Oh, but how's things going with Dojima? Are you guys going out yet?" And Akari's just like, "Oh, not yet. We're not like that yet." He's like, "You just said yet, didn't you? Huh? What's up with that?" And the other girl's just like, "What the fuck? Where's all this lore? You guys gotta keep me up to date with this stuff. What the fuck is happening?" So yeah, Dojima's connecting with Akari. All right, they're building something there off screen apparently. Maki's Maki. I'm trying to remember if we got anything more out of Maki. Oh, we did get a nice scene with. We got a nice scene with Maki and Yu when Yu was still avoiding Toko, I think, where they go to the batting cages together to try to sort through some of Yu's thoughts about the stuff. Which I thought was very nice for them to have that kind of moment. I do still wish Maki got any sort of more development, because again, his introduction was like weirdly specific for some kind of incident that happened before. and we just kind of don't get to see that or know about that. So that happened. I guess it seems like something happened, but whatever. That's fine. He's chill. I don't got any problems with him. I forget. Did somebody have problems with Maki last time? I thought somebody had problems with Maki last time.
Yeah.
Turando. Oh my god. Turando, you got any problems with Maki this week?
Nah, I like the character development. He stopped being a stalker.
All right, fair enough.
He wasn't a stalker to
He
begin
wasn't
with.
a stalker.
Listen, he's just
I
watching
actually
the
really
play.
liked Maki's scene this week.
Yeah, the baseball one.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
great. It's like he
Yeah.
was just like, "Oh, we have so much in common," and he's like, "You're a fucking coward. Go get it."
What the fuck are you talking about? You gotta get on this shit. You gotta lock in. That was what was
I did
recommended to us.
also
this
enjoy
week,
him
lock in.
teasing you afterwards.
Yeah.
A
Oh
little
yeah,
bit,
yeah.
where he's-
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
cute.
I mean, I think I don't know. I like Maki. Maki is an interesting character. He's a really great foil to you. Narratively, he's perfect. I do just wish he had a little bit more sort of time to himself. I mean, I guess
Yeah.
that's sort of the point of his character is that he's like he's on the sidelines. But I'm also like, I don't know. We could have given him a little bit something more, or like we did lots of like backstory and like we got the backstory of the teacher and the cafe owner couple, and that was really, really cute. So I kind of wish we got like to actually see because there's that scene where he's in the movie. He's like, there's the fake movie theater, right? The imaginary movie theater,
and you see that.
and he gets confessed to.
Yeah,
I
I
really wish
just-
we got that confession backstory.
Yep.
I don't know that it would have done more
I
for
don't
the
think
narrative
it-
that we
I don't think
didn't
it would
already
have.
get.
I don't think it would have, but I wish we got it just because I like Maki.
I think
That's
I think-
entirely fair. I don't dislike Maki. I don't think I like him as much.
Right.
But
I
so
think
I'm like fine with it. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, my whole thing is just, I don't know if like seeing an extra chapter explaining that past story, I don't know if it would change the type of view of Maki we would have, but I think it would be better than all of these occasional internal monologues we will hear from him about, I don't think I'll ever love, I don't know if that's really for me, but I just prefer watching happy endings or whatever. I think seeing more of a clear example of why he thinks that way, it would make that more impactful in a way, because it's the difference between somebody saying I don't like this thing, this hyper specific thing due to a thing that happened to me, and then actually seeing what that actual thing is, and understanding more directly why he feels that way, or at least understanding it more, even if we don't personally connect with it.
I think I would actually disagree there, in that I think I don't think Maki feels that way about relationships because of this thing that happened to him.
No, yeah,
I think he feels this way about relationships, and then also this thing happened to him that happens to relate to it.
Yeah.
And I think there's a possibility that seeing that event happen more directly would give off the impression in the narrative that Maki is this way because of this event, as opposed to him just being
I can
like
understand
that.
Yeah, I do see that.
Yeah,
if I'm playing devil's advocate there.
I think
because
that's
I
a fair
agree.
point.
Because I agree with that, because obviously this is not something that needs an incident to explain why he's like this. He could just be like this.
He just is a romantic.
Yeah, you could just be a romantic, and that's perfectly fine. You could just be ace, and that's fine. Yeah, I'm trying to think how I would want more development for him then in that case, because I don't really know. Because I understand the bulk of why we didn't get much more development directly about him or some of the other side characters on screen is just because of time and the fact that we're focusing specifically on you and Toko. you know, we have 8 volumes to do it, so we just want to focus on them, and then a little bit more for Sayaka than the other side characters, of course. But I don't know. I think Maki is a very interesting character who I would like to know more about, I think, in some way. I don't know. Where's Maki's novels? That's all I'm saying. Where's the Maki Dojima novels? Okay? Where are those
Time
at?
to recommend a bunch of Ace mangas for you.
Base. Some of those going to be at the Steam
Donuts
Fest.
under a crescent moon.
Oh my god. All right, so
To add on to the Maki thing,
yep.
I kind of feel like it's just like a genre thing. So I think Bloom Into You was not serialized in Yuri Hime or like Hirari or Gallet, so like not like a Yuri magazine. So that's why, like honestly, so Yuri people tolerate men at best as supporting cast. Like
Okay.
I feel like the
No,
Yuri
that's
audience
100%.
does not
Yeah.
tolerate men having
Okay.
screen
Yeah.
time.
No.
But I think the
Fair.
fact that it's like not a Yuri magazine allowed them to have more like straight people and also more male characters that were supporting cast. So I feel like it's not to the extent that he could pass the screen time threshold of being more relevant.
That's fair. That's very fair. I'm thinking back to New Game where I was just like, how come there's no men at the studio? It's because we don't need them here, okay? We don't that's not the focus of the magazine we're publishing in, okay? That's not what we do here.
Maybe they should have tried being good at their jobs.
Yeah.
Where is the diversity male hire in New Game Studio?
They did get them in the anime. It was a couple programmers there dead in the background, okay?
Finally, DEI.
DEI isn't dead.
Yeah, so
No, guys, it's MEI. It's Men Equity and Inclusion.
oh, okay. I see. So you had the batting cages. You had the batting cages scene with you, which I liked their little conversation there, and then you gets a text from Toko, says, "Hey, can we talk? I'm at the station." Immediately bolts over to the station. I have to go right now. We're going. We gotta talk right now.
Her sister coming back bumps into her like, whoa, where are you off to?
I'm fucking going. I gotta go now. And then they meet
On a mission.
On a mission. A very important mission, okay? The fate of the world depends on this. And then they
Going
go.
right for the hand holding.
They have their little conversation. And then they are together. And then you have the little cute moments with them being together afterwards, where they're like, okay, well now, we're together. What exactly are we now? Was like a couple things that like was going through Yu's head, because Yu's obviously very new to all this stuff. She's like, okay, well, we have this little bowling bet where whoever wins gets to make the other person do whatever they want. I won. I don't really know what to ask for now, because we can already kiss each other. We can already go out to places. Doesn't really have to be at like a demand or whatever. What do I do with this? And also, are we like, what do we call each other? Like, what do we like do different now? Yu is noticing that Toko is acting a little different. For whatever reason, once they start going out, Toko feels like she has to be more of the senpai role, I guess. So she's trying to not be as clingy and needy like she was before when they were not going out officially yet. And at this point in time, it is kind of reversing things, and Yu is the one who is sort of feeling very needy, and wanting to connect more directly with Toko. And then Toko's just going home. Yu's just like, things have been very different with her lately. Has she been feeling different about the relationship now? And then it cuts to Toko just going home, slamming the door closed, and going, "Oh my fucking god, you was so fucking cute today. I can't fucking hold it in anymore. I'm gonna lose my fucking mind." I think I laughed out loud in that scene, and it was also very, very cute. But I was just like, this is a very, very funny immediate cut to. I thought it was very good. Yeah, and then we had lesbian sex. That happened. It was very all over there. That was, of course, what the bowling alley. The bowling alley wish was, I want to have a quote sleepover quote, which, you know, we understand what's gonna happen there at that. And wouldn't you know it, as luck would have it, Toko's parents just happened to get some onsen vacation tickets for a couple, and they go on vacation to that. So look whose home is open for the weekend. And
And Toko could not be more obvious the way she's like, "Oh, you two should
I
go.
know.
It's been so long. Enjoy it without me, please."
It's my own headcanon that she just bought the tickets and said they won them.
Base.
She fucking would.
It's like, get out.
Masterful plan, Toko, okay? Masterful plan. She's just, and not only are they going and Yu's coming in, Yu shows up before the parents have left. So she's like, oh,
You know, it was so awkward. Oh my god.
oh, you know, you were the nurse in the play, you know. So Toko told us, you know, you're gonna hang out with her. You know, she says she can handle the place by herself, but she's probably gonna be pretty lonely. So take care of her, okay? All right, we're gonna go by. The door closes, and Yu feels like, I feel like we're like deceiving them or something. I feel like we're hiding something here. It's like, well,
I love that half a page where she's like, you know, this, you know, if I was a guy, this would be, you know, this wouldn't be happening. And she's like, yeah, lucky enough, huh? She's like, it's just, nothing gets past you, does it?
yeah, you just probably like, wow, you're pretty upfront about that, huh? All right, well, yeah,
That specific moment does become so much funnier if it is Toko who just bought the tickets.
yeah. Listen, 9,000 IQ plan. All right. And then they go buy ingredients to make dinner together, and they watch horror movies together. The Toko tried to do another plan with it.
To be scared.
Yeah, she tried to do another sneaky plan with that. She tried and get the horror movies so that she thought Yu was gonna be scared and want to cuddle up close to her. But no, Yu was like so not affected by it. She's trying to like predict what's gonna happen with it and everything. And Toko is the one who's like scared of it.
He's just sitting there like critiquing the filmmaking.
Yep. And we had like a cute little bonus scene adding on to that later on, one of those bonus comics, which had said that they were going to, you almost had said we should buy these ingredients or like this thing for like a cheesecake or whatever. We should buy these things for like cake or whatever. And Toko's like, no, wait, let's not get that. And Yu's like, why? She's like, oh shit, I can't let her know that I made her or am going to make her a cheesecake already. Why don't we buy these fried chicken something? It was like something fried.
Fried chicken flavored chocolate.
Fried chicken flavored chocolate, which I'd never heard of in my life. I wonder what that's like.
Yeah, it was the cheesecake recipe Yu's sister gave her. I get it now.
Yeah. Obviously, we had to bring that back. I knew it was going to happen at some point. I had thought it was probably just going to be like, you know, one of those ending pages where they lived happily ever after, and it's like a couple plates are in front of like their hands holding with like the cheesecake in the back. That's what I thought was probably going to happen with that eventually. But it was just them having the cheesecake as they hung out together in their quote sleepover, watching horror movies, and then they take the baths, and then Yu goes into the bedroom. There's very clearly bedding set up beside the bed, and I'm like, who are we fooling here? We know nobody's sleeping on that one on the floor.
That's the courtesy bed.
Okay.
You know, we're not gonna use it, but like, you know, it's just it's a
For deniability.
Yeah. You know, just to be nice, you know.
Pretty sure you walked in, it was immediately like, all right,
friendly
I'm climbing up
gesture.
here now. He's like, I'm climbing up here now, okay? So And then they held hands. That was all they did.
And then they got married.
Yeah,
Kinda.
yeah. Kinda. in secret.
Marriage deniability.
Friendship rings.
We're talking about Toko and plans, right? I had immediately wondered when Toko brought up the bet in bowling. I was like, she's gonna lose on purpose, huh? She's gonna lose on purpose, isn't she? She's gonna lose on purpose to see what's gonna happen. I don't know if she actually lost on purpose, but I like to think she probably still did. And then didn't realize that you also had no idea what she wanted with the demand. So, because I think like they were talking about the wish, and Toko's like, I would have wished for like a kiss, and he was like, we probably were gonna do that anyways.
He's like,
oh,
I could just kiss you. It's
oh,
fine.
Shit. You're right. You're right. You could.
Useless
Well, I
ass
didn't think that far.
Could you imagine?
God, sorry.
Damn.
They literally call themselves that.
Listen, okay. Listen.
There is literally a ending panel where they're both like, "I'm so useless."
There was one panel where Toko had said something to you, and then you just responded calling her an idiot, and I forget what it was.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh my god. Very aggressive over here. Trying to think of what other cute moments with their going out stuff we want to mention here. Because they were very, very happy in this phase, and it was very nice, and it was very cute, and I appreciated it a lot.
Yeah, it was really cute.
Wait, was the one where she called her an idiot like right after she licked her tears off?
Oh my god. Maybe. I'll be honest, I don't remember that happening, but maybe.
I do. I made a note of it. That was weird.
Yeah, no, that did happen.
Okay, alright. Listen.
She said, "Oh, it's so salty."
So salty. I just remember us going through each chapter, and the chapter arts becoming progressively more Christmassy and wintry, and I was pogging.
Yeah.
Definitely not biased.
It's so good.
In that.
It's so good for me specifically.
True. There was a very cute one for, I'm looking at it now, chapter 43, essay question continued, where they're setting up a Christmas tree. Toko is like watering it, and you is putting a star on it. Is very nice. Very nice. Oh yeah, Koyomi also had a thing. She won the rookie novelist contest. She says she got the lowest of the prizes you could get, but she technically won, and she might be able to meet with her role model author there again, because she was one of the judges for it. So she got a little bit this week. Not too much though. That's pretty much just it. But you know, it's nice to see that little detail. It's nice.
I did love Koyomi
book.
just being absolutely exhausted.
Yeah.
Oh
Me.
my god, yeah.
Me.
That's you, you're Koyomi? Oh my god.
Yes. I said me.
Me. Oh yeah, now I'm seeing I'm remembering now the you going to see Toko in the play. Their like Christmas play. And she's like texting her like break a leg, and she's saying keep your eyes on me, and then like literally everybody is like hyper focused on her. And, you know, we had very nice looking panels of her acting on the stage. I will say I don't want to go through the effort of showing all of the panels on stream, but the art for this series, especially in these later volumes, I think, because they get to do so much just visually for making it look very nice and impactful and emotional, is very, very good. I very much enjoy it. And especially in a lot of these last ones, like I said, we get to focus more on just making everything look all cute, romantic, emotional, powerful. You know, I like it. I think it's neat. what else did we have here? I think it just I think that was pretty much most of what happened during their dating period. And then we get into the time skip stuff, which I think we mostly covered everything about that already. Oh yeah. I'm sorry. There's another detail about Kumi. She's got her first book coming out in a few days. She's getting published now after the time skip. That's what it was. She's getting published.
Yeah.
So before the time skip, she had won the lowest prize in the contest that she was entering that we had heard about before. And now she's getting published soon. So, and apparently, used bookstore is going to be promoting the book like crazy. So
She
good.
became a marketer after my own heart.
Absolutely. That's just the way it goes.
Time to market all the Yuri.
Oh. And then Sayaka's development about having a girlfriend now. Bro, time skip Sayaka showing up. I was like, oh my god, you're still around. Holy shit. Because like she wasn't there at all at first. And I was like, I didn't realize she would still be in the area. I think a part of me thought that she would have like moved somewhere else, like overseas. I don't know why I thought this. I think I just thought she was rich, so she would have gone to college overseas, and you wouldn't see her anymore. Wow. But I don't know. I don't know. Were you gonna say something? I was just like, "Oh, Sayaka, you're still here." What were you gonna say, Turndo?
They all gathered at the Echo Cafe at the end. I never really got the whole meaning behind the Echo Cafe, like why it was called Echo.
Oh,
You see in Pandora Hearts, there's this character.
I swear to God.
True. Mochizuki Jun wins again.
On her way, getting isekai to Gensokyo.
True.
That's true, actually. Bloom-Indio happens in Gensokyo. It just doesn't come up.
I did wonder if that cafe was started by that one. I think her name was Miyano. I think
Danmaku girl? Yeah.
Danmaku, yeah, sure. I was wondering if she had started the cafe or if she had inherited it from like her family or something. And I don't remember if that detail
Don't they
was
say
shown.
that she inherited it?
Okay, they might have explained that. I just couldn't remember.
I think they mention it very briefly, that it's like a thing her family owned.
I do remember Sayaka goes on a trip with her to another cafe at some point. I don't remember if that was this week or last week, but she goes on a trip with her to some other cafe.
No, that's this week.
Because the girlfriend there, the teacher, gets very upset at her for hanging out with Sayaka like that. Because they went to the cafe mostly to gossip about whatever was going on with Sayaka, but also to spy on the new cafe in town, I guess. Gotta find out what the competition's doing. Supposedly the competition is doing, what was it, like seasonal drinks or menu items and such. So they're just like, I don't know if I can compete with that and all that. Yeah, I guess. There's like little details about the cafe that I remembered being brought up. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the nature of the name of the cafe was supposed to be symbolic of, if that was what you were wondering, Turndo. I don't really know. Obviously, it was named after Pandora Hearts character, who's also in Gensokyo. We know this, of course.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm looking in the Discord chat for messages that are very out of context from like a while ago, and I'm just seeing Aztec saying hello nurse, and I'm seeing Anne saying Ari being homophobic SMH. I don't even remember what that's a response to.
That's what you read out.
I also see Iron saying excuse
the people
you.
Demand answers, Ari.
Lex. Okay, so yeah, you gotta answer for your crimes here. Let's see, what else do we have? Oh yeah, the play that they watch, because the student, they're there for the culture festival, and the student council is still doing the plays because they did the plays, the year after that they did that we saw as well. They did the play still, and they're still doing it now. So they've brought back the tradition, and it seems like it's staying. And I think the play that they watched was supposed to be a boat traveling down a vast river, and it was supposed to be like symbolic of like all the memories and experiences that you've had over time. Even though you keep going forward, you can still look back and see all of the like memories that you've gone through on your way down the river and things like that. And it was like cutting to shots of all their past interactions, how they met, going to the sports festival, doing the play, stuff like that. It was very, very nice way to... I honestly thought they were probably going to try to end it with like that shot of them in the boat with all the memories or whatever. I thought like that was getting ready to be an ending shot. But then I forgot, there's one more thing. Okay, there's one more thing we gotta do.
Just one more thing.
We gotta find a way to show... First of all, I had a heart attack at first because I'm like, they're going near that fucking river again. Don't go near the fucking river again. Why do we keep going near the goddamn river? Something bad's gonna happen.
I love how it's that literally nothing bad physically happens at the river, but all of us, every single time it comes up, it's such a visceral this manga has just so many shots of places where it's like, this is going to turn into a horror manga. I'm going to flip the page and it's going to be gore. It's going to be blood everywhere.
Can I say
it never
something?
is. It just...
Can I say
go.
So what I was going to say is, I had another moment where I thought that they were going to die this week too. And it was when Toko had rejected Sayaka and was coming home, texting you saying, please meet me at the student council room now. We're going to meet up right now, please. And I thought you was going to get there. I thought you was going to be waiting, and I thought Toko wasn't going to show up, and she was going to get a call saying that she got killed on the way there. I was immediately, worried about that.
Several of those shots where you see her like running across a road, and I'm just like, watch where you're going. Stop waving to her. Stop. Watch where you're going. Look both ways.
Nakatani Nio, you keep making me think that this is gonna change genres very quickly.
Maybe that says more about us as readers than the series.
Maybe, but I feel like, we did introduce the past, the sister dying from a traffic accident, and then we also opened the series with a train passing them very closely by as they make out all of a sudden in the middle of the tracks. I'm just saying. I was...
Yeah, no, there are very, but like... I think I read... I think I said that I read Farewell to My Altar, which is a one-shot manga that she did, and that's... Yep. It's darker, I would say.
Right. So what you're telling me is...
No, it's not just us.
What you're telling me is
what she's doing.
Perhaps Nakatani Nio had darker plans for the series later on, mayhaps. I don't know. But
if the ratings don't go up, we're gonna turn it into something else real quick.
Jason Todd moment.
I still like the early on theory that Sayaka was just going to try to murder you or do something crazy. I still think that would be... And I mean, even beyond the worries that like they're gonna hit in like traffic or like fall into the river or whatever, like there was also just the panels we had where people had these like death glares. So yeah, those moments, they happen. Anyways, they pass by the river of trauma, and I think they even make a comment about, oh yeah, we had a lot of serious conversations back here in the day, huh? And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, a lot of fucking trauma, huh? Is that what you're trying to say? A lot of it's the trauma river, okay? It's the trauma river, all right? It happens. Well, so they work through their stuff there. Well, they work through their stuff at other places after shit hit the fan at the river. You know, it's fine. It's fine. They pass that by, and then of course we have to have the scene where they show off the ring. Have to casually show off the ring, and of course they're showing off the ring as they're saying, "Oh, the stars are coming out now," because obviously we got to bring back the stars into this. And then you have Yu's hand going up into the sky, and you see the ring, and then they hold hands together to wrap it up as they walk down, and you see the stars above them. And it's just the chapter title, and the chapter title is Voyage. Very impactful final shot. I'll show the final shot here on stream. Let me put in the spoiler zone here. I'm seeing Soul in spoiler chat saying, "Bro, not gonna lie, I thought you was gonna get hit by a car." You know? We're not crazy, okay? We're not crazy. We've noticed this stuff. Is noticed. Nakatani Nio, if you're listening to this, which I've realized after reading the afterword, there's a non-zero chance that Nakatani Nio could at some point listen to our podcast about this. I don't know if they're able to understand English, but one of their afterwords was like they Google people talking about themselves in like their series all the time to like read about this stuff. It was like, there's a non-zero chance, okay? There's a non-zero chance. There you go. There's the final shot here. Very, very nice.
I hope she
Big
gets a
fan.
lot of laughter out of us just constantly thinking someone's gonna die.
Big
Nakatani.
fan. Let me turn Bloom into you into a visual novel.
Oh my god. Oh
Yeah, so-
shit. This is basically
All that
Koyomi
pillow
here, okay?
talk
She
that
can
you
market
mean.
and
I would
everything.
kill someone for a Bloom into a visual novel.
Question: would it be a kinetic novel, or would you introduce choices?
The Sayaka route. We gotta have the Sayaka route.
No, that's a fan disc.
Oh,
Where's
gotta
the
get
Dojima
first name
route?
first.
The Dojima route? That I think that gets you. I think if you try to go that route, it uninstalls it and deletes your system.
I think you just get banned.
Oh, all right, that's true too.
Your Steam account gets doxxed.
No, just you as a person get banned.
Oh,
Yeah.
forever? Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
forever.
Yeah.
We're banning the main character?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Is there any other bonus meme comics that I forgot to mention that we wanted to bring up?
Well, there's the anthologies.
Well, I know the afterwards stuff, which we can bring up. I didn't know if we had any other bonus meme comics before I talk about the afterwards. We do have the bonus meme materials. One of them is sleepover cooking, where it is a lot of you doing the work and Toko saying, "Wow, how do I help? I can do this." And she's like, "Can you boil the water for this thing?" So, yeah, I can do that. And then she starts it, and she's like, "Is it ready yet? No. Is it ready yet? No. Is it ready yet?" It's very, very cute. Very cute.
It's not a bonus meme, but I did want to draw attention to probably my favorite visual moment in at least these two volumes, which is the start of chapter 38. I
Okay.
just sent it.
Let's see here. I see. Okay, so it's the image of Toko, and these are like threads wrapping around
Yeah.
her. Okay, let me save this.
I take it as like threads of possibility, because
You think if it was in color, it'd be like the red threads or whatever?
oh, 100%. Because
There you
they
go.
use red string imagery in the opening for the anime.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Mhm.
And the chapter is called Direction. Let me
Yep.
see.
It's just a really striking visual. for
Very
me.
powerful, yeah. There's like I said, a lot of the imagery in this is like very powerful with stuff like this. Very, very powerful. I do really, really enjoy Nakatani Nio's character art a lot. I really do enjoy it. What other bonus memes? So there was the cooking one. I think there was one that was like their intelligence level somewhere too, or like skill levels. It was like a high school academic skills.
I think Turndo sent it a little bit ago.
I found it on my thing again. I'll just post this in and then re-show this. It is not saving it. There it is. Boom. All right, let's break them down. Let's see what we got here on the academic tier list here. Oh. I'm going to shrink this down a bit. You might not be able to read it as well on stream, but that's fine because I'm going to read them out anyways. Oh my god. There you go. Okay, so we have at the top Toko. Obviously excels in everything, but there's a very slight not full corner when it comes to science, it seems. Very, very slight, hard to see, but I see it. But pretty much practically all of them filled in. And it says excels at everything, especially good at test taking. And Sayaka's looks pretty much the same, except for I think it also has a little less when it comes to Japanese. And it says excels at everything, makes occasional careless mistakes. But she has a very, very pleased look on her face, very content look on her face. Okay. Midori, I don't remember who Midori is. Is that like one of you's friends?
Midori and Monica are their Toko and Sayaka's friends.
Okay. Midori is especially good at social studies, a little bit good at Japanese as well, and says likes Japanese history. Oh yeah, I remember this was a character that had they went on the class trip, and those two seemed like they were a couple too.
Those two had that little moment together.
Yeah,
that was really cute.
Midori likes Japanese history, kept making references to periods, I think, and there's another scene or another joke that happened with them, or a cute moment that happened with them that I can't remember. I don't know. I just remember thinking like, okay, so that's another cute Yuri couple that we have here. Very nice, very nice. Just a little side characters that Nakatani Nio wanted to highlight for a second. I was like, that's cute. It's very cute. Manaka has very surprisingly good stats in these other areas. I think in comparison to how she was acting in the scenes as well, I thought was very funny. Everyone's always shocked by her grades, is what it says. And I was in fact shocked by her grades. So, and then we have you, who is good at Japanese, somewhat good at English, and then it just says not great at math. Yeah, no, she's not very great at math. Also not great at science. Also, that's a little okay at social studies. A little okay. Maki, pretty decent scores. Not as good as Sayaka and Toko's, but pretty decent scores. Is a generally excellent student. Dojima's not looking too hot here. An average student.
Dojima's doing his best.
An average student with a slight lean towards STEM. Okay, he's a little okay at math and science. Still average though. Still average. Koyomi, of course, has big bumps in English and Japanese and I guess social studies. Not so much in math. A little bit in science. Specializes in humanities, but still skilled in all fields for Koyomi. And then we have Akari, who is in good company with Dojima, we'll just say.
Doing her best.
We all got that struggler in the friend group.
And if you don't, I have some news.
Listen, she's decent at biology, okay? That's what it says, all right? That's all that matters, right? That's all that matters.
Akari would be the one that goes, we all have the struggler in the friend group.
Listen.
Look, she can dunk on any of these fools.
That's true.
That's true.
That is true. And she will. Okay, so that was that bonus meme, and I already went over the sleepover comic bonus meme. Oh, there's also a bonus comic after the academic skills one that's about while they were on their school trip, they go to Nada to feed the deer. What's wrong with my voice? To feed some of the deer that's up there, and they have crackers for the deers. And I think Manaka starts eating one, and they're like, "It's not for humans. Don't eat them." But she's like, "It doesn't taste like anything." And Sayaka's like, "I'm surprised you try one though. I'm not surprised you try one though, Manaka." And she looks over, and Toko's already having one. She went for it. She actually went for it. That's my crush, and she's eating the deer crackers. What am I supposed to do about this? My whole
That's my
Girl,
Oshi.
I like so
that's my
stupid.
Oshi. That's my
Who
Oshi.
hasn't tried their pet's treat though?
Yeah, but
Me.
those deer crackers, from what I understand, are like not. They taste like nothing. Like they're just.
But they do just look like crackers.
Well, sure, yes.
I'd probably try one. I'm gonna be honest. And then once I found out they taste like nothing, I would just be like, "Why? This is what we're feeding the deer. The deer like this. It doesn't taste like anything." Okay, so with that, I think we pretty much covered the bases of like bringing up the general things that occurred. Is there? We're gonna go through the general because this is the ending of the series. We're gonna go through eventually the general line of going through everybody, their general thoughts on the series, what their scores are, and all that. But before we get into that bit, does anybody have any other realms of conversations or questions or discussion that they want to bring up, or parts of the series that we might have forgotten to bring up, or anything of that nature, perhaps?
Yeah,
Well,
there
for
was
those-
one.
Oh, go ahead.
Huh?
Go
There
ahead.
was one scene where I think it was when you came over to Nanami's house. She's like, "Whoa, you have a couch. We don't have a couch. I'm jealous."
Oh,
I'm like,
yes.
That's such
Yeah, that was
cultural
cute.
whiplash. Like, you
Yeah.
don't have a couch.
Yeah, she was just
I
like,
have
we
a
have
couch in my room. Like, wow.
She was like, we have a Japanese.
And then I realized
style
I
living
also
room.
do not currently own a couch. So, you know.
Ah. Yeah.
You win some, you lose some.
And then they brought that back later. She's like, "Oh, we might move in together. I guess we'll have to get a couch if we do."
I know. I thought that was so cute.
Yeah. It was very nice. It was reminding me of the teacher and the cafe owner, and just cutting into their
Yeah.
relationship where they're already living together and how they interact with each other. It was reminding me of that. It was very cute. Very nice.
Also,
like
they
an
put
echo.
you in a bunch of oversized clothes in these chapters, and it's adorable.
It is very adorable. I do appreciate it. I think Yu is very, very cute in general, in a lot of her, especially with her expressions. Very, very cute. Very nice.
I don't think the school outfit's a good look on her. I like all her casual clothes, though.
Really? Okay. I do especially like the casual outfits, but I do think the school uniform on Yu is very nice. I like the school uniform for all these characters, I think. I think it's just because the design in general just works for me for these student outfits for them. I think it complements them very nice. I don't know. For me, at least.
They're very good, grounded designs.
Yeah. I am interested to see how the anime makes it all look, because I do really, really appreciate how the manga art handles a lot of this. So I'm interested to see how the anime style is going to handle it. Any other topics, questions, concerns? I think you were going to say something, Iron.
Yeah, well, so for those who know me or work with me, especially work with me, like with editing and stuff, you'll know that I won't shut up about themes. I really like to talk about themes and think about themes and the ways that stuff ties together. And so, I think what I want to raise, there are lots of themes and lots of really juicy and well explored themes in Bloom Into You, but the one that I want to raise is this idea of the different variations of love and the ways that love can look so different and feel so different and be such a different experience for different contexts, different people, different times, different seasons of life. Yeah, I thought it was actually a really, like, significantly more comprehensive exploration of that theme than I've seen in most other places. So I don't know if anybody has any initial reactions to that, but that's where my brain is at.
How have you seen it explored in other places, if I may ask?
I mean, most of the time, if you're going to explore the ways that love looks different, you're going to take like 2 or 3 different lenses on it, and you're going to toss all 3 of those into one situation, and you make some compares and contrasts, and there you go. But the whole sort of core premise here revolves around, what is love, what is not love, what does love do, what does it not do. How does love look different in different? I mean, even thinking about like where Koyomi has the thing with her favorite author, where she loves their work, and then she finds out that they're a woman, and oh wait, what? Like even that is another exploration of like what love looks like,
Right.
And so it's a lot more nuanced, and it has such a greater breadth than I've seen for other works that explore similar themes.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I have any like specific to add that you haven't already said, because it really is very interesting how it handles that. I really did appreciate it.
And I think it plays really well into the very large cast. I mean, there's like a pretty large like if you think about like the number of characters with above a certain threshold of screen time, there's really a pretty large cast. But it works. Like it doesn't feel. I mean, there are a couple characters that are like, wait, who are you again? But like in general, it doesn't feel unearned, right? Like they all have their own sort of stories and their own backstories and honestly their own perspectives on love, and I think that really contributes to the overall.
Yeah, and I really
picture, I
did
suppose.
appreciate
Yeah,
their.
I mean, even if they're sorry, go.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was just gonna say I did really appreciate their side stories not solely being to build up Toko and you. Like their stuff happens to help them work through things at times, or like help them understand things about themselves at times. But it is primarily just for that character to advance something about themselves, which I really liked. Yeah. What were you gonna say, Anne?
Oh, I immediately forgot. It's fine.
Oh no. It'll come back to you. Don't worry. It'll come back to you. Believe in yourself. Believe. Okay. So. Anybody else have anything they want to add, either to that or something else? The floor is open.
Kind of.
Yep.
Oops.
Oh no, go on.
Yep. Yeah, kind of in that vein. Like Bloom Tea is very much Yuri, but I think it's like there's often this kind of subtext versus Yuri argument around many other Yuri mangas, where it's like, for example, stuff that's just focused on lesbians living their lives. There are people who do not consider that Yuri, and people who consider that Yuri, or things like Room for Two, which is the type of series where they definitely do not ever really define their relationship. But at the same time, it's like they're definitely Yuri, in my opinion, but because there's no explicit definition of relationship, is kind of like people may lean one way or another. So I guess like in Bloom Into You, there is kind of an explicit definition of the relationship between them. But at the same time, I think like Toko is kind of like, I don't want it to be, say, labeled a certain way. And then the other kind of thing of like, is this Yuri? Like, I think the standard checklist for people who want to very much differentiate things that they consider subtext versus Yuri is that, like, is it explicitly defined and do they kiss on screen? So I thought it was like pretty rare to see like both the physical portion and also the like, I don't want this to have a label portion, since there are people who kind of dislike it when in Yuri the characters choose not to label their relationship as like lovers or girlfriends and stuff like that.
Right.
So I think it's like very common for the more subtexty stuff to be like, we're not labeling this. and then the other side of things to be like we're going at it in certain ways. So I think it's like fairly like of course it's like very obvious that Bloom Into You is Yuri, but it actually kind of is in this like in between area that I actually feel like I don't see that many series land in terms of like how they define the Yuri, because it's high school romance, but at the same time there's a lot of exploration into things that's more, I guess, like often seen in the more subtle type of Yuri that is not as obviously like, oh, kiss, kiss, they're girlfriends, yay, like that type.
Right.
Well, the other thing with that too is it's really interesting to me the way that Toko says that she doesn't want to label it, right? Because she does explicitly say like, yes, like girlfriends or lovers, like those are accurate, but they're also not the labels I want to use. And I think that is a really, really, really interesting way to do it. And you had something.
Yeah, it just reminded me a lot of specifically the way that it does talk about like romance and love and the separation between those two and the different variations that people can have on them. It reminded me a lot of a couple of series that I also really love. I'm in Love with the Villainess, which has a rather famous, relatively famous now scene of them actually asking the main character if she is a lesbian and her having like a very in-depth and reflective answer to that question, along with just I'm in love with the villainess, especially the light novels going really hard on the author's politics as well, and her own opinions on those kinds of things, somewhat through Ray. It's another one of just my favorite things. And then somewhat similarly, the Other Side Picnic novels. And there's a very direct parallel in the conversation that Sororo and Toriko have about how they want to label their relationship. And it reminded, rereading Bloom Into You, having now read Other Side Picnic, it reminded me a lot of the conversation that Toko kind of tries to have before Yu's just like, wow, you fucking nerd. Yeah, I don't know that I had a point. I like Gary. Girls.
Girls, yay.
Girls.
True, very true. Okay. Anybody have anything else they want to add to that, or any other topic, or bring up anything new? Okay, I'm gonna go over the actual afterword real quick, and if anybody does think of anything else that they want to talk about, let me know. So we have the afterword for, which one's volume 7? This is volume 7. Nakatani Nio says, the anime was amazing. Yes, it certainly was. All 4 volumes of the anime, now on Blu-ray and DVD. All I can say is thank you. I think the world of Bloom Into You really exists somewhere, and I'm just channeling it somehow. Where's this coming from? Why the spiritual talk? I mean, that's really just my frame of mind when I'm drawing it. Rationally, I know I'm creating it myself. And then it's an image of Nakatani in front of a computer, and it says mountain of text that's not getting anywhere. But it feels like it's based on a true story, and I'm taking those people and events and making them happen in a manga. Know what I mean? Like, it's not choosing their words and actions. I'm just trying to transmit the correct answers as well as I can. And it's an image of Nakatani as like a spiritual medium being beamed in the Bloom Into You world into her mind, and it says just adding my own touches to the comics, and then talk about otherworldly is what it says there.
Yuri beam.
And then it says, anyways, I always felt like that world existed inside of me. But when I watched the anime being made, I felt like the staff were all accessing the same world as me. Like what I thought was local storage was actually in the cloud, you know? When I think about it, my editors and readers have all been seeing this world too. I feel like I realized this thanks to the anime. There's also going to be a play and the Saiki Saika novels. Man, that's like super crazy, right? Don't give up on your vocabulary now, is what the side version of Nakatani Nio is saying. And then they go, anyway, the story of Bloom Into You will come to an end with Volume 8. I'm so lucky to be able to draw it and end it the way I want. Please stick with us until the end. And that was Volume 7. And then Volume 8 goes, Bloom Into You is now complete. Thank you for following it for 4.5 years. We still have a lot of post-series plans in progress. It's called the Curtain Call Project, and it's got a whole bunch of things here. We got the Nakatani art book, the Nakatani short story collection, the Bloom Into You Anthology 2, regarding Saiki Saika 3, line stamps, apparently. There's line stamps of Bloom Into You. There's Bloom Into You stage play encore. And it says, please check out the official Twitter account for the latest information. And it's at Yagakimi, in case you want to check that out. I'm sure all of those things have already ended years ago. I don't know if there's anything new that gets posted there, but there you go. And it says, maybe you should put that game down, because I guess there's like images of Nakatani Nio playing on a Switch throughout this, I guess. And it says, since there's still a lot of work to do, at least let me have an hour a day of gaming, please. I also want to thank all of you for sharing your thoughts in letters, emails, tweets, and so on. I'm sorry I can't reply to all of them. I tend to overthink my responses. The amount of comments a manga receives can vary even among series with similar-sized readerships. Not based on quality, just based on the type of series. But Bloom Into You gives a lot more than average. Comments and reviews are a form of creation, and I really like people who create things. So if a manga I made moves its readers to write something, I think that's wonderful. If it nourishes other creators and becomes a component of their own work, then nothing could make me happier. It doesn't have to be art, writing, music, movies, etc. It could even be thoughts, words, or actions. Whatever the case, it would mean the world to me if there's even a drop of Bloom Into You mixed in there. That's what I was thinking as I drew it, and I'm sure I'll always feel the same way. Thank you all so much for making Bloom Into You a joy to work on. And thank you, Nakatani Nio, for giving us this series, because I think it was okay. I think it was pretty neat. You know, it was a little bit. I think it was a little bit okay. I think it was good. I didn't want to ask a question to Anne, who has probably already seen the anime and probably know the answer to this question. And I think I already know the answer to this question. Does the anime adapt the whole manga? The answer is going to be no.
Absolutely fucking not, my guy.
Okay, well.
No. Yeah.
Amazing. I'm assuming it only
it just
covers
kind of dies in the middle.
I'm assuming it only covers maybe half of it.
It cuts off with, I believe it's the first or second chapter of Volume 5. So, which would be the aquarium date.
Yeah, it's after the
just
aquarium.
before the actual play itself.
We don't even get to Christmas. We don't even get to.
Nope. Nope.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's pretty disappointing, actually.
Maybe one day, okay? Maybe one day.
It's
maybe
still one of my favorite anime, ever. But yeah, no, it.
All I'm saying is, when we read Dorohedoro, when we started that, they announced season 2 of that soon after. I'm just saying, us finishing this, if they were to announce season 2, Bloom Into You to finish it.
If we get this for Bloom Into You and Girls Last Tour, I will explode.
Oh my god, if we got it for Girls Last Tour, I would lose my fucking mind, okay? I need the finale for... I can't believe they didn't finish Girls Last Tour. What the fuck?
Especially because it would have been one more episode.
Yeah, listen,
no, it would have been.
No,
it would have been a good, probably half a season more.
Yeah, I don't think it would be a full season, but definitely like more, more than one episode at least with that. But either way, Bloom Into You.
Give us some Girls Last Tour movie.
It's true. That would be perfect, actually. That would be perfect, I think.
Girls' last movie.
True. There'll be no more after that. The movies are canceled.
There wouldn't be anyone left to make them.
Okay. And the anime, I'm assuming, is 12 episodes. And I mean, we'll watch them eventually for the book club. Probably watch it once we're done with first season of Sailor Moon. We have 2 animes that's going to be on our list after the first season of Sailor Moon. We got Pandora Hearts and Bloom Into You, both of which did not finish their series when they adapted them. So, interesting. You know, when we started doing the book club stuff,
we need to finish things.
I'm just saying, one of the rules for the book club suggestions is that the series has to be finished. And that's where we came to realize there's a lot of manga series that have not finished yet, somehow. And now I'm realizing there's even more bigger epidemic of anime that don't finish their goddamn adaptations of these amazing series that aren't even, like, super long. Like,
you're only realizing this now.
Well, I just mean, like, they're not, like, super long, though. If it's, like, a longer thing, I could understand it more. Like, I don't understand this. Like, whatever.
And yet,
Listen.
Welcome to the Yuri curse.
Yeah, One Piece gets it everywhere. Listen, they're just like, this will always print us money. We don't have to stop doing that. They will always print us money. These other ones, though, I don't know. I guess. I don't know. I'm just saying, we should...
The Netflix school of TV shows.
Yeah.
You only get one season.
For real.
Oh my god. Alright, well, this is... Unless somebody has any other comments, questions, topics of discussion, or whatever, in general that you want to bring up, I think next we'll go down the line to people and see what their general closing thoughts of the series are of stuff, and how they enjoyed the series overall, what their favorite parts might be, what score they would give it, whatever you want to say. We're just looking for general closing thoughts and then a final score. So, let's do this then. We'll start with you, Andromeda. What did you think of Bloom Into You, and what score would you give it?
Oh boy, I get to talk even more?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I recommended it in the first place. This is one of my favorite, like, works of fiction, just overall, easily one of my 2 favorite, like, pure romance sort of works. The one is probably Toradora. I love both of them very much. It's just good. It's really good. It's a 10 from me. So.
A 10 out of 10. Hell yeah. Starting off strong there. All right. Well, thank you so much for that. Next up, Arimia. What did you think of Bloom Into You?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to give it a 2 out of 10. No, I'm kidding. I really liked Bloom Into You. It was I've heard so much about it beforehand. Just in the I tend to hear about things that are Yuri, shocker. And I just had heard so much about how it was peak. And it was not exactly what I expected, but it was still very good. I'm not sure what I expected. I probably expected something a little more healthy, because it's not toxic, but it sure wasn't healthy at the beginning. But I still really enjoyed it. Probably more so because it was not incredibly healthy. Yu is my favorite. She's adorable. But she's also, she feels like how I approach writing main characters. She feels like a main character that I might write. I really like
I can kind of see that.
I agree. I agree.
This is kind of how I write main characters.
The little bit that I've read of your writing, yeah. No, I can see that.
I love her. She's wonderful. 9.5 out of 10. Yeah.
We need whole numbers here. I'm sorry to say.
No.
You're picking
No.
a number. There is a gun to your head, you coward. Bump it up to a 10.
9.5
Stop lying
is
to
a
yourself.
95 out of 100.
Stop
whole
lying
number.
to yourself.
99 out of 100.
That's two 10 out of 10s.
There is a train slowly approaching the Yuri couple, okay? Only you can save them by choosing the correct number here.
She's not gonna
Multi-track
save them.
This is the trolley problem, but for Yuri and anime scores, okay? Pick a fucking number.
Finally, it can get more toxic. Yay!
This is the railroad track Nanami has been staring at all the
Oh my god. Alright, well, thank you much for that, Ari. I'm going to note this down as a 2, because that's your original score, okay? Because that's the only score you've given that's valid. Alright, so we'll note that down there. Thank you so much for that. Next up, Aztec, what did you think about Bloom Into You?
It was nice. I enjoyed it. It's a very, I'm not sure down-to-earth romance is the right word, but kind of grounded. Like, there wasn't anything super out there for it. It was just nice. They acted like people. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. I would say 10 out of 10, but that entire play segment honestly bored the shit out of me.
Oh my god, damn. Alright, well, it's fair enough. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Sweet. Thank you so much for that. It's a 9. Oh my god, strong scores already. Iron, what did you think about Bloom Into You?
Yeah, I really, really loved it. Yeah, I actually don't read a lot of manga. I watch much more anime than I read manga, or read, visual novels or just written, just like books. But I really think it used the manga format to its highest benefit. And I think because of the way that I am now and like the way that I pay attention to some of the real subtleties, I think that's really what helped me enjoy it. I've heard folks say it's like it feels a little boring or like whatever, and I get that, because what makes it interesting is like the very subtle details. So you have to really be paying attention while you read it. But that's even more fun to me personally. So yeah, it's a really great story, like others have said, very tender, very grounded, a little bit toxic, but in a realistic way. Yeah, I mean, I think it might be a 10.
Ooh, a 10. All right, that's another 10 we got here, right? Because I believe Anne also gave it a 10. Is this right? Trying to make sure I get the scores right for the final tally.
That's correct.
Okay, so we got 10, 9.5. Then we got a
10, 2, 9, 10.
Aztec, would you give it a 9, or I forget what you gave it?
Yeah, 9.
You gave it a 9. Iron, you gave it a 10.
You have one job and you've already forgotten.
I'm sorry. I felt like I heard something from somebody who didn't even give a real answer. You gave a non-committal answer, so I don't think I want to hear that. So thank you very much for your input, though. Listen, anything else you have to say, Iron?
No, I don't think so. Really enjoyed it.
All right, thank you so much for that. Next up is me, Nanami Borg. I would give it. Well, let me just go through my general ramble about things first. So, I really did enjoy a lot of this. I really enjoyed the play stuff. I understand if people do not enjoy it as much. I really enjoyed it because I think I was more so focusing on it all thematically. I understand in reality the play might not be as interesting in person, but I wasn't really focusing on that as much here. I loved so much about how we handled the different understandings that people had about their, like, how they believed love to work. I liked the initial ideas with you use I guess unrealistic understanding of how love is supposed to feel through her enjoyment of media and then trying to like explore how it's supposed to work in reality through her relationship with Toko. I really liked everything about Toko's backstory and how she was able to overcome it through the play stuff. I really liked Sayaka's role in this. I think my only thing with the Sayaka stuff was just there was never really a concern about that ever, like about her ever winning. That was never really a concern there. But I did still really much enjoy her role in the story and getting to see her develop and how not only, like I said, with all the side characters, as much as we don't really see a lot of their stuff on screen, when we do hear about their stuff and what they're going through, that kind of stuff is very like impactful for what they're going through, even though we don't see a lot of it. And then it's not there primarily, they're not just there primarily to build up Toko and you, but as a side effect of them hearing about those interactions, it does help them develop themselves in a way, which is very nice. I thought that was very nice. I did also enjoy characters like Amaki. I think a part of me still wanted a little bit more out of Maki's character, but I understand why we didn't get it, and I'm not that upset that we didn't get it, especially given the points that Anne brought up earlier. About how it might cause a sort of misunderstanding to the reader that there had to be an inciting incident for him to become ace. It doesn't necessarily have to have a prior incident for that to happen. So I can understand all that. I think I just liked Maki as a character and kind of want to learn more about him, but I understand that's not necessarily the place here for that. So it's understandable. And yeah, the art for the series, very, very cute. I really loved that we got to go long enough to see Winter Fitz, okay, as the resident winter enjoyer and Christmas enjoyer, all right? I was very much appreciative of that. And everything about Toko's arc was very, very good for me. I really enjoyed that bit. Yeah, I would just say watch out for trauma rivers. If you're having conversations with people by a river and things go terribly wrong multiple times, don't go by that river anymore. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. What would I give the series? I'd probably give it a 9. I'd probably give it a 9. I think it is very, very good. I'm trying to, like, I don't really have a specific reason why not to give it a 10 other than it is something where it's not something that I think I would readily reread as much as some of the other series I would give a 10, if that makes sense. What they've gone through is very, very good, and I really enjoyed reading through it, but it's not something that I think I would readily reread all the time, which tends to be what I think I would give a lot of my 10s to. This is pretty much the only reason why I wouldn't give it a 10. It's just because I experienced the story. It was very, very good at doing that, and I don't really know when the next time I would pick it up again. It's obviously something that I would always recommend to people, but I think it's the I don't know if I would be rereading it that much. But it is a series where I would check out the light novels in the future, the Sayaka light novels. I'd be interested in doing that. So
the light novels are really good.
Yeah. So I'd give it a 9. I'd give it a 9. And that's my thoughts. And next up, we have Shino from the Sayaka fan club. What's your thoughts on Bloom Into You, especially considering we haven't heard your thoughts from the last week's volumes? What do you think about the series?
I might actually have the lowest rating, but still a pretty high rating. So I guess because everyone so far has been 9 or higher, I think, right?
Just wait.
Well, Ari gave it a 2.
No. That's true. Ari did give it a 2. That's kind of fucked up of her.
Yeah, so I think I gave something like way worse than this a 7, so I would give this an 8 out of 10.
Okay.
But basically, I feel like it's very vanilla to me. Like it's kind of missing some of the flavor that I want from a story. In a sense that, like, as a romance story, I don't ship Toko and Yu because neither of them were that compelling to me personally. Like, I feel like they were well-written characters with a lot of stuff going on, and like the romance was nice. But at the same time, I don't really ship them. And then because Sayaka was the losing party from the start, I didn't ship them either. So I felt like there was a bit of a weak point as a romance
Mm,
story for me
right.
personally. So it was the type where it was like it's good because it has good art, it's well written, there's like a lot of themes that it explores, and I feel like the characters are developed, but it doesn't really hit that like feeling of catharsis for me. And so like at the Sayaka fan club, I guess, like I kind of feel like Sayaka's role and the wealth of side characters were kind of a weak point because so since she was the loser from the start, there's not really a whole lot of tension. I mean, there is like tension in that part, but it was kind of like you knew that she was going to lose from the start. So
Yep.
the love triangle didn't really feel like it was a productive thing for me personally. Though like my favorite Yuri love triangle is also the strawberry panic love triangle. So I guess like maybe my love triangle opinions are a bit more on like the spicy side. But yeah, like I think I honestly would have actually wanted more time just focus on Toko and you exploring them because I feel like we explored them, but at the same time, like I honestly don't really get you
Mm.
still. And then for Toko, like I guess I kind of get her a little bit more, but that's because we like pulled out her trauma and put it on top of like a play and stuff like that. So it's very like straight in your face and stuff, like a lot of like
Oh
Toko's
my god, Shino.
stuff. So it's like I liked the Riko Sensei and like the cafe owner and like Akari and her boyfriend and shit like that. But I kind of feel like it's like I honestly didn't need that. I wanted more of the protagonist. And so like as a result, I feel like it was like a good vanilla Yuri. Too many side characters, well written with pretty art. I've definitely reread it a couple times, so it's like good enough for me to reread this. And I would definitely usually recommend it when recommending Yuri, but it's also not really on my top list since it doesn't really hit that like feeling of sparking, I guess, for me. But yeah, I know that Nakatani is not really writing Yuri nowadays, but I hope she makes more Yuri in the future. And yeah, like I do like her Toho stuff, so it could just be like the characters in Bloom Into You were more hit or miss for me.
Mm. Right.
Yeah,
Not
it's ended up
toxic enough
good.
for Chino. Yeah.
Okay. And then you said you gave it an what'd you say, an 8?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean that all makes sense, especially, given you probably have far more experience with Yuri works than a lot of us, so it's more understandable that your standards of this are probably different from ours in that kind of regard with that. But I do think a lot of your points with that stuff in general seem pretty valid. So, all that makes sense is what I'm trying to say. It all makes sense. So, thank you so much for that, Chino. Next up, Turando. What did you think about Bloom Into You?
Yeah, I really liked it. Romance is not really my particular genre, but I really do enjoy Japanese romance just because the style and the storytelling they do is very different compared to like Chinese dramas or Korean dramas. I think Bloom Into You did a great job with storytelling in just like 8 volumes. The relationships were very simple, but it didn't make everything like overly complex, so it was really easy to understand. But there was a lot of depth to it. I liked a lot of the philosophy, a lot about the stuff, or like the uncertainty and kind of like their finding identity about like what is love and what these relationships mean to each of these main characters. And I thought it was just a really fun story overall. I'd probably just give it a 10 just because I really enjoyed the story.
Okay, so you're giving it a 10 in the end, is what you said? Just trying to make
Yeah.
sure. Okay, alright. Sweet. Thank you so much for all that. That all makes sense. Okay, next up, Baguetti. What did you think about Bloom Into You?
Okay. I'm just gonna be real with y'all.
Yeah, you do
I
it.
didn't care for the story. I didn't like the story. I didn't
Okay.
really like Bloom Into You. I also don't think I'm the intended audience anyway, so I don't think anyone else cares if I didn't really like it. My only points with it were that I felt that the story overall was very predictable. I didn't doubt for a moment that these two characters would not be together. I knew that they were going to be together, and I didn't need to cheer them on. I didn't feel any kind of anxiety or emotional either way as to would they be together or won't they be together. There really wasn't anything pulling them apart or bringing them forward. They just kind of did their own thing. And the other part was I felt like there were unnecessary plot points that were brought up. And at the end of the story, I felt like, what was the point of even having them anyway? I felt like the deceased sibling, what was the point? It could have been anything else. It could have been her own personal, a fear of love with Toko. I felt Yu was kind of the best character out of all of them, like as far as like development, as far as like we getting to know what's inside of her head and what's going on with her on a personal level. I felt bad because I actually liked the other characters too, but it's like, oh, her friends came over from her old school and then they disappear. Oh, her family's here, and then they disappear too. The older siblings, I did like how they would reoccur in the story, like for different parts. I feel like I wish the other characters were given that similar kind of treatment where they would, they're like assistants to their love, like them coming together, right? It would have been like a cute thing in this world, in the story. But at the end of the day, I think I would just give it a 5 out of 10. It was okay. It was an okay story for me. I just wasn't crazy about it.
That's understandable, yeah.
But I mean, that's how.
If it,
Sorry, I feel bad.
No.
I'm like,
no, yeah.
I wish I could understand like how everyone else felt about it, and I
Right.
I do truly like I would go over it and be like, man, I'd consider what everyone else said about it at the end of the day. But I do feel like there's two factors here. I've read a lot of manga.
Sure.
Like a lot. So I feel like, you have like a lot of people in like for films and stuff say the same thing. Like the older cinema fans are more scrutinizing of newer media because they've just been exposed to it much more. They're much more spoiled and their tastes are way more, smaller as far as what they would give something for a good score. Like look at movie scores these days. They're either terrible or really good. Like there's no in between. I feel like this is just an in between for me. Everything was serviceable. The story is fine, I guess. The art, I have no critiques of the art. It did its job. I just wish that it used more of its resources to make the story a little bit more, that I could feel like there were forces pulling or putting them together, and that this was actually like a love story where they had to put a lot of effort into getting together, because there really wasn't a lot of obstacles. Like really, like if there was an obstacle, they walked around it and then they just held hands again. They got back in the middle again and they're back together, and I was like, yeah, it's okay. But yeah, that's how I felt about it. It's cute. It's fine. I think it did its job as far as its genre. I don't know. It's like romance slice of life. Is that like the specific genre? I don't know, but it did fine for what it is.
Yeah, that's fair. Again, different people have different experiences with these things that'll influence how they appreciate, what they focus on, what they appreciate more about these things. And with how much manga you've read before, and depending on the type of manga you typically enjoy reading more, stuff like this might not necessarily be up your alley. Perhaps and that does remind me, I probably should remember to myself to think of bringing up, when I do go over like our speeches, to like what we think about them, like who we would necessarily recommend these things to, like who might enjoy these kind of series that we talk about, or at least just for myself to remind about this, because that is important to factor in too. You know, you can enjoy this kind of series, but it might not just work at all for a lot of other people, depending on like the kind of stuff they typically read or whatever. If you know, if somebody is a big action shonen head and that's all they read, they're probably not gonna enjoy Bloom Into You as much and things of that nature or whatever. Not saying that you are, but I'm just saying like as an example of like that kind of stuff, you know. So you know, all that to say, you know, that's definitely a huge thing to think about. If you're just not really the audience for this kind of thing, you're obviously, you know, not going to enjoy some parts of it in the same way as other people will, especially depending on how it handles these kind of things, you know. So that's all understandable, I think. So reasonable.
I think manga is also changing a lot too. It's definitely much more easier to produce than like when I started getting into it, when it's like ink and paper. So I think it's just understanding the different genres and the different needs of different readers, because that's a good thing. Like variety is always a good thing. So it's kind of me kind of grappling that, like how it's changed, because manga has changed a lot in like 20 years of like 15 years I've been 15 years I've been reading it. So yeah, I just think it really that's the one thing that surprised me. It was like, okay, you know, this just looks like, you know, newer audiences. It's reaching more different types of people, I imagine, versus when I started out reading manga.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I have not read. I think I want to say the oldest manga I've probably read was probably the Familiar of Zero manga. I don't know if I read any manga that was older. Was Azumanga Daioh older than the Familiar Zero one? I'm trying to think.
You've read part of Yu-Gi-Oh!
Oh, that's true. I did read part of Yu-Gi-Oh! That is pretty old. So I guess Yu-Gi-Oh! Might be the oldest one I've read. I'm trying to think of what older series. Actually, if I go onto AniList and I filter by, can I sort by year? I don't think it lets me sort by year. I don't know what the oldest manga. Oh wait, when did Mega Man X come out compared to Yu-Gi-Oh? When did the Yu-Gi-Oh manga start?
96 or something.
Ooh, Mega Man X came out in 94. Let's see. Oh, so I think the oldest one. I think Mega Man X might be older. Mega Man wins yet again. Yeah, I mean, all that to say, like, I don't have too much experience with a lot of, like, older manga. I mean, stuff like this book club will hopefully help remedy that over time. But, yeah. I am interested to check out more how some of those older series handle these things. Oh, wait, I did read part of Bakuman. When did Bakuman come out? Oh, that was 2008. That was way newer than I thought it was. Okay. Anyways. Alright, so thank you so much for that, Big Getty. So I have all the scores up here. So we have, I'm going to go through this list, tell me if I was wrong, or if you want to do any final corrections. Anne had said it's a 10. Ari, sadly, said it was a 9.5. Unfortunately. Coward.
Oh, shut up.
Coward. Coward. Aztec said it was a 9. Iron said it was a 10. I said it was a 9. Shino said it was an 8. And Turando said it was a 10. And then Baguetti said it was a 5. Anybody got your calculators out? You know what that averages out to? It's a number. It's a number that I'm definitely not trying to figure out now. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. There's 8 of us in here, right? So divide by 8. The score average in the end is 8.8 in the end. So we round that up to 9. So it's about a 9. Congrats to Bloom Into You.
8.8.
It was an 8.8. Probably because somebody made it a 0.5.
Wasn't
Who
me.
would do that? Who would do that? That's true. You didn't do that. So, all right. That was Bloom Into You. Does anybody have any final things they want to say before we are officially done with Yuri?
Yay,
and Yuri gets officially done. We never.
Well, Whoa, now.
think about Yuri again? It's
Whoa.
done. It's over. What?
Whoa.
I'm free.
Hold on.
Guys,
Okay.
my mom said I can't hang out with you guys anymore.
You don't appreciate Yuri.
Oh yeah, Soul had also given it a score in the chat. Again, Soul is typing
Yes,
primarily.
I asked Soul for that.
Soul is typing primarily in the
Calculate.
Discord, which you, if you're listening to the stream, can't see any of this at all because it's not showing any of that. But Soul gave it, if I can find it, where was Soul score?
It was a 9.
9.
9. Did we
It
have
was
any
a 2.
comments with it, Soul? Do you have any comments?
Just
A couple hiccups here and
couple
there,
hiccups.
but overall very solid.
Okay. Interesting. All right, so that's Soul's score, 9 out of 10. That's a number. So, any other final comments, questions, concerns about Yuri?
I did have one thought, and thank you, Brigetti, for helping me think of this. I think what I came to is that actually the manga is not about the characters, which feels very silly to say, but I think it's not about their relationships. It's about their experiences and the way that the way that the characters portray the themes and the sort of truths about the truths that are being attempted to be communicated. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but I think that's why
No, I think I agree.
isn't like I think that's why it might not be for everybody.
You're saying it's not about the
because
characters, it's about what they embody. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's
Okay.
not actually about, like, if you wanted a really compelling story where the focus is on these two characters who are extraordinarily realistic and in depth and have to struggle to, get together, like, that's not what this is. It's not trying to do that, right? But also what it is trying to do is not necessarily something that everybody wants or is interested in. So it's interesting.
It is very much trying to be an examination of not just romance, but I do stand by what I said, and I think like the first week about homophobia in particular being like a very big theme in this series, even if it doesn't get like mentioned by name.
I would say we haven't talked about it as much as we probably could have, but
I think it's because we mentioned it for a couple scenes. We mentioned the whole putting the
I
food
think
down
the
scene.
focus was a lot on the characters, but like the homophobia just as this specter that haunts all of the characters and like controls the shape of their lives and them having to react to that, like even down to the very ending where we're still not really sure if they actually told the parents, if the parents know like what's going on between you and Toko.
Yeah.
Because who knows how they're going to react. And just that kind of fear, and you see it again with the teacher and the cafe owner. And the fact that the teacher is like very desperate to keep their relationship secret in that way.
Right. Yeah. I remember I remember that stuff, and I also remember the scene where Ray is Ray's the sister's name, right? The sister there is saying, Dad might be chill with it. Grandma will go whatever with Mom thinks. I don't know what Mom's gonna think about it though. Things like that, where I'm just like, oh, okay. I'm seeing bits of that or whatever. Where again, it's not being fully addressed, but it's there. It's there somewhere, playing a part
it's
in
very
this.
much talking about it without using the word, which I think ends up making it more effective.
Right.
At least for me personally, but your mileage may vary.
Yeah. Okay. Do we got anything else we want to bring up?
Just real quick, thank you all for reading.
Of course, and thank you for suggesting it. It was really, really good. It was an incredible time, incredible experience, and thank you, Nakatani Nio, for writing this. And I'm probably going to check out some of Nakatani Nio's other work, such as the various anthology series that they're a part of. And apparently, there's also Bloom Into You anthology series that you can check out too.
Yep, there's a couple anthologies. She wrote, I think, just like one chapter, or maybe it was one per volume, but they're the 2 volumes. So
right, yep. So you can go check those out if you want some bonus reading material about Bloom Into You. Apparently, there's also a play. I don't know if there's any way to view this play online, but there was a play at some point.
I have seen the stage play. It is good.
Was there a live drama? I feel like this is a series that would have a live drama as well.
I
But
don't
know.
think there's been a drama adaptation that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Not to my knowledge, but I might not know even if there was,
Okay.
I did see a promo picture for a live action.
Oh, okay. All right. So, go check out those things if they are in places where you can access them or whatever, or go to Japan and see if they're there. I don't know. Figure it out. You figure it out if you want it. So that was Bloom Into You. We finally finished it. Everybody lived happily ever after. Congratulations. Well, as long as they stay away from the trauma river, just stay away from the trauma. Just don't go near the trauma river. Everything will be fine. Hopefully. All right. So that was the end of that. So we're going to be wrapping up here. Before we wrap it up here, we have a couple things to mention. This Saturday, we will be continuing our watch through of Sailor Moon. So you can join us in the Discord to be a part of that, if you are into that. And now that we're done with Bloom Into You, we will not be meeting for book club stream next Thursday, because starting tonight and then going all the way up until next week, we're going to be doing the vote. We haven't done a vote in a while because we basically picked 3 series in a row and then just went through them. But now it's finally time for us to do a vote to determine what the next book club series is going to be. If you're somebody who's already involved with the book club, or if you're somebody who would like to become a part of the book club, any and all are welcome to become a part of this process. And how the process works will be as follows. It is, you get to list, if you join the Discord server at discord.wolfborg.com, if you go into there, grab yourself the book club role and go into the book club channels, you can suggest manga that you would like to be put on the list for the big general vote. After, I think, a couple days, I forget how many days, I'll have to figure it out based on how I did the last votes, we will begin the big process for the big general vote. Everybody will vote. Once I make sure I have all the votes from everybody that I want and the time runs out, or everybody that I know is going to be part of the vote and the time runs out, we will pick the top results of that, and they will go on to a secondary vote. And then the winner of that will be picked. If there's a tie, we do tiebreaker votes. If there's another after that, I lose my fucking mind and we figure it out from there. So, that's the general process of how that's going to work. So make sure you're part of the Discord if you want to be a part of that process. And for suggestions, the only rules are it has to be a complete manga series, it has to be at least 6 volumes, and it cannot be porn. Do not have us read flat-out porn. It can have sex scenes, it can have ecchi elements to it, but do not have us reading full-on hentai or whatever. And that seems pretty obvious, but I feel like I have to say.
Maybe we just need a special segment.
That's for the After Dark channel, don't worry.
Proportional breakdown on this, where's the limit?
If you have to ask, the answer is probably you can't suggest it, okay? I feel like that's probably the good test for that. I don't know.
I should stop recommending citrus.
I don't actually know how graphic the manga gets with that. I don't know. Listen, all right?
It's not good.
Oh my god. Listen, it hasn't won the vote yet, so it's fine. All right. So, anyways.
Don't say yet.
I don't know. I can't control what you guys vote for. I'm just trying to say if it was listed before, it didn't win, so we're good, okay? All right? I didn't know it was like that, okay? Listen. Anyways, that's the general rules when it comes to the votes. So you can suggest as many as you want. Try not to go too overboard with how many you list. Don't give me fucking 20 suggestions for one person, probably. But, you can still suggest a bunch, and then they're just going to be put in the general vote, and then whatever wins moves on to the second, or whatever the top results are, going to the second vote, and then we move on from there. So, again, that's in the Discord, discord.wolfborg.com. And again, we won't be meeting next Thursday, but in general, we stream every Thursday night at 9 o'clock Eastern Time here on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick all at the same time. You can go to all these things at youtube.wolfborg.com, twitch.wolfborg.com, kick.wolfborg.com, and if you want to find the link to all these general things, you can just go to wolfborg.com in general, and that's going to have my links to all of my things. So thank you so much, everybody, again, for coming to hang out, and thank you so much to everybody for the discussions about Bloom Into You, and I'm very excited to see what we're going to be voting on and discussing next time, which will be in 2 weeks from now is when we'll start the next discussion, so that's going to be October 2nd. So that's when that's going to be, so we get a break off next week, and in the meantime, we'll be doing the vote. But the Sailor Moon watch parties will continue until we are done with the first season of Sailor Moon, and then it's either going to be we watch Pandora Hearts or Bloom Into You next. For those. So we'll figure that out as things go. Thank you so much, everybody. I appreciate you all. And now let's raid out into somebody. Who do we got tonight? Who is here? What are they doing? Do they like Yuri? Let's see. We are going to raid out into Asta is playing Dave the Diver. Oh, but they're on a Be Right Back screen right now. You're supposed to come back so I can raid you. Okay, well, we're gonna raid Asta anyways. We're gonna raid, and they're playing Dave the. I've never actually seen. I've heard people telling me that they play Dave the Diver, and I haven't actually seen what it looks like. So apparently we're diving. So this is the aquarium date they went on. They're gonna see Dave the Diver there. Okay, I have to wait for this thing to get ready. It's true. It's true. Thank you so much, everybody. I appreciate you all. Bye-bye, gamers. Bye-bye. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Alright, we're good.
Claps, they won't stop.
The claps, the voices.
I can still hear her voice.
Stop telling everyone I'm dead.
I'm on my grind to finish through Silent Hill 2 before Silent Hill F comes out. I have to play the new When They Cry entry, okay?
Yeah, let's go.
Same.
I've never played a Silent Hill game, but I will be.
What's wrong with you?
I don't
I
play horror
finally played
games.
them recently. It's good.
I don't horror
Play it
games.
now. Play it now. Oh, you
That's
don't
a-
like horror games, okay.
It's okay. You can watch me
I
play it
prefer
on stream.
enjoying my life.
Like first-person
Horror games
shooters
are fun
are-
as hell.
are like a genre of horror to me.